Well, we have something really exciting for you tonight, something brand new as far as the GP series. It is the state championships tonight. Hey, everybody. Welcome to K1 Speed in Canton, Ohio. I'm James, and alongside Jason this time. Welcome back, Jason.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back.
So we have a combination of things tonight. When I said it's new, it is a combination of state championships with adult league tonight. So we have the top 3 drivers of our junior league, our teen league, and our adult league all competing tonight for the top 3 spots of the state championship. And then in the middle, we're going to throw in the regular adult GP series so you guys can watch all that all tonight, all in one season.
Awesome. Yeah, it's the grand finale of, so like the state championship has already been decided, right? The top 3.
Yeah.
And then this is the bonus race that K1 Speed threw in last year to say, all right, we want the top 3 from each facility, each state to compete, and then each state sends 3 of the best drivers.
Exactly. So for us, we're the only centers in Ohio this year. Next year, that'll change. But since we are the only ones in Ohio, yeah, these guys are all going to advance, and we just need to find out who's going to be first, second, and third.
Yeah.
So that they can actually get a title being the state champion. So.
And is Giovanni in the top 3 for the teens this year?
No, he didn't run the teen league.
Really?
We've seen him in the endurance series, so that he's not running those leagues. So.
Gotcha, yeah, because he was defending world teen champion last year. So hopefully we're breeding what you're watching today, the next teen, junior, and adult world champion potentially.
Exactly. We hope that they continue to stick with it and move up. Actually, McAllen, who won the junior championship, is going to be competing tonight, is already moving on to some gas competition here this year and a little bit last year, I believe, too. So, yeah, watching these young drivers move up in the field, move up in the ranks, and getting their start here at K1 Speed. If they decide to come back when they're tall enough to drive the adult karts, they can jump into the teen league. As long as they're under the age of 18, they can run the teens. And then when they go over 18, they jump into the adults. So we've got the span of competitiveness here available to you.
Awesome. So are there any format changes of tonight's GP versus what we would normally see in a regular arrive and drive GP? Not
a lot. So we've got a couple, I think it changes in the lap counts tonight. However, the track direction is in reverse, which the juniors don't run very often, but everybody will be competing here in the opposite track direction from where they normally run.
So opposite directions, the only difference in what we're going to see. So 2 qualifiers and a final for each heat. And we're going to run them back-to-back, I'm assuming? Straight all the way through?
Yeah, so we'll go juniors, teens. They get 2 qualifiers tonight, which they don't normally get during the league season. I really like the fact they're getting 2 qualifiers.
Yeah.
Then we'll go into final juniors and final teens before we hit adult GP.
Awesome. So the speed of the karts is all the same. They're not on like a faster speed or anything like that. So these kids are used to driving basically what they're driving right now.
They are, yes. So same speed 4 that's been programmed to them all along the season.
Cool. I know last year I got a sneak peek of the teens, and it surprised me how close some of the teens' times were to the adult times. So
yeah.
I wonder if I'm going to see the same thing this year a little bit.
Well, because we see a lot of our teens also run in our endurance series, we know that they're pretty much the same, sometimes even faster. We had young Gavin Patterson who won the last endurance season or last round of endurance. He's going to be competing here in the teens, and yeah, he can put faster laps than some of these adults down here.
That's really cool to see.
You're watching on track Blake Scheckler in the orange helmet, followed by Josephine Matthews, who just hit the timing line. And then back here somewhere, we've got McAllen Schleyball. McAllen was the winner of the normal regular season. She won actually every single round of the year.
Wow.
We look at her standings in the junior leagues. She only missed 1 pole position. Blake stole 1 pole from her during the year, but otherwise she captured a winning round every single month, January through December last year.
So defending an undefeated season, but almost undefeated pole position season.
Yeah. I was actually surprised by that as I was looking back through the stats, and I realized that I didn't realize that she had qualified so well all season, but then I also didn't realize that Blake had only had 1 qualifying or 1 pole position all year. So
that's really cool. I like to see how hopefully we follow these names throughout the next several years of this, where we see them grow and develop into the teens and then into the adults, and hopefully Ohio is known for producing some of the fastest racers at K1 speed, which I think we are so far.
Hopefully. We'll see next year when we combine with Columbus.
Yeah, that's going to be different.
We'll see.
Have you seen the facility yet?
Yes. Yeah, I have seen the facility. Got to drive the track. Have you seen it yet?
I have not.
You've been too busy plowing snow, so.
I did. I thought I retired, but I didn't. So how was it?
It's very nice. They did a great facility down there. There's a couple points of it's obviously a double layer track. There's a couple points in the track which are like, wow, I can't believe people squeeze through here. But it'll be interesting to see competitions down there. And who knows? Maybe this championship next year will be down there. It's hard to tell.
I don't know. They don't have our setup, though, for being able to stream it. They might be jealous of that.
They don't, but it is a corporate store.
So that's true.
They may have a leg. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
12 months away, a lot of things can happen.
Do you remember when we went to Daytona? That was one of the first double-layer K1 tracks I had been to.
Yeah.
And the karts were, like, they seemed extremely fast because the track layout. Is it similar to that in Columbus? Or?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely pick up a lot of speed coming down a hill. There's a nice wide left-hand turn there, and then it really pinches the track coming into turn 1 and 2. So that track is really tricky for like competitive GP type stuff.
Cool. I'll have to definitely check that out. So McAllen in
Just
first right now.
Continuing to set purple after purple.
I was 27-6 and keeping.
I was getting ready to jump in and see if anything changed, but
no,
nothing.
Faster and faster and faster every lap.
Oh. Only on that one.
Yep. As soon as we say it, we're giving commentators curse. We got to stay out of this.
Thanks for joining us. For everybody who is friends and family of the drivers tonight, we encourage you to follow along every Sunday night, first and third Sundays. We do this on a regular basis, but especially for those who are maybe joining us for the first time, thanks.
Yeah,
maybe there's some grandmas and grandpas out there that are watching from out of state. Maybe you could jump in the chat and we'll put your comments up on there. Tell us who you're rooting for. Blake is now in the third spot. Josephine has edged him out slightly by about 2/10. Only the best lap time counts in this scenario. However, you will get 2 qualifiers. McAllen goes purple again with a 27.5.
Good.
Almost half a second over the other 2 drivers.
That's a crazy difference.
And I'm surprised Josephine hasn't backed off of Blake's bumper yet. She's going to try to squeeze there into turn 4.
They're already racing, James.
I know. I love Blake's orange Crocs that he races with. Matches the orange helmet. That's awesome.
I just noticed that. That's awesome.
He was here on Friday night at the glow karting that we do, and his feet were just sticking out like a sore thumb because his Crocs glow. And it's really cool to see him driving those.
Motocross helmet and Crocs.
And then my other favorite is Josephine and the hair flying out the back of the helmet. She looks like a mean racer.
Yeah. I love that helmet. I like that color. And then the hair is like perfect.
Yeah. Only 2 laps to go. Rachel's up here in the booth with us tonight. She has done some of the graphics for the channel before. She actually looks a little bit like the little caricature we have, doesn't she?
Yeah,
the hair flying out the
girl.
back.
Yeah.
McAllen going purple again, 27.5. She's really got the reverse track. Blake jumping up there, though. He is now 1/10 behind her. He fixed that situation with Josephine by throwing down a faster lap.
Good to see Uncle Mike in the chat rooting for McAllen there.
White flag's going to fly this time by.
They're watching from all the way in Wisconsin.
Were they rooting for the juniors? Is that what he said?
Yeah. So,
cool.
McAllen's Uncle Mike's in the chat.
Awesome. Best times between Blake and Josephine, right around 1/10. We'll see if they got anything left in the tank as they cross the finish line. McAllen's going to be the last one. Is she going to improve yet again? No, really close, 27.5, but her best will remain at the 27.4 mark. So 2/10 will separate McAllen and Blake, and then 3/10 between McAllen and Josephine.
So something that I think makes these junior karts really cool is that you went to the battery side of it. It's the first junior karts I've ever seen at these facilities that run lithium batteries. So they don't die off like they used to. They actually stay consistent like the adult ones, right?
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Dude, that was miserable.
Yeah.
So traditional lead acid batteries, the lifespan on them, especially when you're this hard on the charging cycles, like they go out, they get run and back and forth, they're murderous in the junior league. So or junior carts. So we fixed that with going to some great lithium batteries. They've been very reliable, really rock solid for us, and keeping the power while these guys set qualifying laps so they don't die off as time goes on. So
I think it's cool because you give the kids like a taste of what the karts are like. If you're so used to a kart dying off, you have to get everything in 2-3 laps before you notice a difference. And now they're basically racing with the best equipment, just like the adults.
hopefully that's our goal. We'll get into the karts a little bit later as time goes on, as we now see the the teens out on track. Gavin Patterson, Mason Tucker, and Jensen Janda out on track. None of these guys are strangers to our track. In fact, if you watched the last live stream, you recognize that helmet right away. Mr. Gavin Patterson in the number 21. He is your most recent winner in the endurance rounds. Driving 30-minute races. It actually was in the reverse direction last time, so he's got lots of practice and time on this. But not to be left behind, Mason and Jensen have been leading a very competitive series here. So let's look at some of their stats on the year. The Team Cup, we have Gavin on the year with the most wins. He has 4, but the other two kind of divided it up 3 and 3. So Mason and Jensen both getting 3 wins on the season. Gavin having 4 poles, Mason 2, and Jensen 3. So they have been extremely close all year in the adult karts.
So qualifying times, you think that's going to boil down to that too? Who's your pick for the teens? I'm a little more familiar with the team names than I am with the juniors, but who have you seen kind of rocket up this year in these 3 drivers?
Man, that's hard to say. They've all come onto the scene and really added or dropped their lap times. So I don't know.
It's anybody's race.
I'd say even between them and the adults, I think this could be possibly the closest competition.
Really?
Now, that's going to be dependent upon how they handle the reverse track. Because, again, guys like Mason maybe has the fewest number of laps in the reverse direction. Maybe Jensen's right around the same, but Gavin probably has the most recent experience on reverse track. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's only 500ths behind the times. Everybody in the low 26s already. So 3 laps in, everybody's just kind of getting a feel for it. But Gavin's sitting on top still with a 26.047. So I'm sure we'll see the lap times come down as they continue to figure out the ins and outs of the reverse track.
Yeah, you're following. All right, so we actually have our onboards this time.
All right.
Let's switch over here to young Mason Tucker, driving the number 20 machine. Have they updated our names yet? Hey,
they have not.
Hey, Track, you got our names? If you could check on that for us, please.
So going off the helmets, the zombie helmet is Mason?
It is, yes.
Ooh, Gavin, the first one into the 25s at a 25.879. So, all right, so the zombie helmet's Mason. Who else do we have?
Gavin, he's on the 21.
So the blue and pink gloves, love it. And he's got my old helmet.
Yeah, he's the one with your matching helmet as he sets purple again last lap by. And then Jensen in the number 1 machine.
Awesome. Yeah, so everybody right around the 25s, but Gavin able to find basically 0.2 of a second, almost 0.3 of a second into the 25s. It's going to be a really close qualifier, as we can tell. We're 6 laps in, halfway through, as Mason jumps to the top of the board at a 25.837. Besting out the 25.869 from Gavin. Let's see if Jensen's got anything. Gavin responds immediately with a 25.750, so they are racing neck and neck here, losing about 0.1 of a second a lap. As I give the good old commentator's curse on that, I'm sure they're going to plateau right here, but these are really great drivers, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the mid-25s by the time this is all said and done.
That's usually where our adult drivers end up, is the mid to low 25s. Let's try this, shall we? Hey, look at that.
Split screen.
All right, so on the left-hand side, you're going to have Gavin, and on the right-hand side, you're going to have Jensen, so we can follow both of these guys.
This would be great for 2 GoPros, 1 cart, forwards and backwards when they're in traffic. That would be a crazy shot.
Oh, yeah, so you could have the same track?
Yeah. Gavin besting his time again, 25.735. So just whittling away at it little by little. And these are competitive times. The adults will probably wind up right around the same area, low 25s, I'm assuming. Reverse track, maybe a 24, but I don't know if we're going to see that tonight or not.
Let's check back overhead to see these guys are running in lots of gaps, which is smart.
Very.
You don't want to get trapped.
How many times have we said this during qualifiers across all the different events?
Oh, it confuses us all the time. Like, why are you sitting behind somebody?
Yeah.
Just go get clean track space.
Yep. But that's the difference in what you're going to see tonight watching, which is, again, thanks everyone for checking in, because you're going to see the difference in the drivers here. And hopefully some of the teens and juniors can watch this back and learn some of these tips and tricks that we give the adult drivers and apply it to their racing. That is what we strive for here at K1 Speed Canton, is the best possible racing we can get.
White flag is going to fly. Gavin again, purple, 27 or 25.7. He's whittling away like thousandths of a second here.
As the checker flies.
Bested again,
yeah.
25.6.
See if Mason and Jensen have anything for that.
Jensen across the line, the number one.
Ooh, got him. Got Mason.
Jumps up. Now, does Mason respond? He hit the wall in the last turn. No, so does not improve.
That cost him that 0.2 right there, if not more.
So there you have it. The split time between Gavin and Jensen, 0.058 seconds. That's the kind of gap we like to see in a state championship.
I think it would be cool. I know it sets us apart doing this, but I think it'd be cool to see the other locations do this and compare the gaps in the carts of how close everything is.
Yeah.
And how good the racers are across it.
So everybody will get a second chance. You only take the best time of your 2 qualifying sessions. So if this one didn't work out for you, you'll try it again.
He's stretching his arms out, stretching his neck. You're too young to be that sore getting out of a go-kart. You look like me coming out of a cart.
I just saw Giovanni in the shot. Giovanni, friends with a lot of these drivers, hanging out with them tonight. It's great to see everybody coming out and supporting their favorite drivers. So
love it.
It's one of the reasons we want to do this whole event all together tonight. I think it's good for the teens to watch the adults, and hopefully the adults stick around to watch the teens, or maybe they came early, I guess. I know Anthony is sitting on the sidelines somewhere over there. I saw him. But anyway. Yeah, you were mentioning about the carts. So the cart setups were all done this week, and we specifically set aside the carts for the state championship.
Oh, cool.
So they did not participate. When I say participate, I say the carts weren't in the rows for the normal arrive and drive all weekend. They were prepared to the best of our abilities. They were all split timed based on acceleration profiles and making sure they all match as much as possible. And then they were all driven to make sure that they were as similar as possible. And then they were all set aside. So
that's a great way to do it, so they don't get the abuse of the arrive and drive during the week.
Yep. We didn't want to run the risk of just throwing some carts out there. Should go live for the teen league.
Apex Racing, yeah. Well. Yeah. Tell your friends.
Yeah. Let us know how we can make that work. So anyway, so yeah, all the carts that were set aside, we set 4 of them out. So when they have the random car picker, there's going to be 1 car that's not used. If they draw the same cart second time in a row, they will redraw so they don't have to use the same cart. We want to make it as fair as possible. But especially with the adult carts, that was a little bit of a challenge this week.
I bet it was. Busy week?
A busy week.
Good.
And especially having 4 carts sit out for the weekend. But
yeah,
this is too important. I know this means a lot to our drivers. We want to provide the best equipment possible. So.
It's worth it. Got Miles in the chat here, too, watching from Seattle, hoping for a successful racing season this year. Miles, you race anything? You race at K1 or... Yeah?
Yeah, I know he's been in here before. I just can't remember.
Really?
I think... we were trying to remember, Miles, if you were from Washington or not. Let us know.
Yeah. Miles was from... Yeah.
You did confirm? Okay.
Because we were out there. Now it's coming to mind. Rachel just mentioned we were out at Nationals with him. So, yes, good luck in your racing season to everyone as it officially has started, because the 24 Hours of Daytona has run. So, welcome to racing season, everyone. I know it's still wintertime out in most places, but...
Now we've got onboards onto the juniors. Thanks, guys, for getting that fixed for us. Josephine Matthews is going to be in the car number 50. Pink helmet. And We're also going to be on board with Mr. Blake Scheckler. I haven't seen the back of his helmet before.
No.
Okay. K1 Houston, hey, nice to have you. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I know the other locations are going to be doing regular GP tomorrow. So those of you who are normally at your centers running adult GP on a Sunday night, you get to watch us. And then tomorrow you get to run your own.
Cool.
All right. And finally, the last on board from McAllen Schleybaugh.
Uh-oh. Looks like we got a question. Oh, don't stop
on the timing line.
Oh, no. Looks like there might be a issue with the cart.
She thinks there is. Oh, sliding your seat back?
It's like that.
No, it's not.
It's huge.
I haven't seen it move. Just try it. Go.
So it might be an issue with the seat slider there.
Yeah, at least that's the problem she reported, so keep an eye on it and see.
That's got to be tough. Like, I'm a bigger guy, right? So I get in these carts, and I don't care if the seat's all the way back. It's when it's all the way forward, you jump in, and you're like, ugh. But I know for smaller drivers, we've even seen it in the 12 hours and in the Endurance Series where some of the teen drivers that race with us, they have booster seats and pedal extenders and everything. So it probably makes a difference as a smaller driver for where your seat's at.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, especially with those junior pedals. I got the joy of driving them this week, and that was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. They are fun little machines, but yeah, when you don't fit. So, race is tomorrow indeed. We still have 11-year-old carts and are all broken up.
With a smiley face, though, so making the best of it.
Yeah, make the best of it. And that's not to say we won't have equipment problems here. That's part of racing. And maybe if the seat is an issue, but just try to prepare as much as you can.
That's it. Well, McAllen's seat is not holding her back because she is still in that first position with a 27.524, so 0.3 of a second faster than the next closest so far. And then Josephine and Blake.
Yeah, McAllen had a 27.453 from the last round, so she's not far off the pace. One thing I noticed with the junior carts is because they're lighter, it takes about 3 laps to warm the tires up. Adults are usually anywhere between maybe 2.5 laps to get that temperature in them. I know the first couple times I sat down, it was like, these tires are definitely cold. Hop back on with Josephine Matthews. She's trying to beat her 27.773 last time. She's pretty close, halfway through the 12 laps. And Blake trying to improve on his 27.659.
You think, Hangerman Racing in the chat. Let's go. All right. You think that basically if you were to walk onto this as a teen or a junior that it would be the first qualifier, definitely maybe second half the first or the second one, just learning the track and figuring out where you're fastest, like, because they don't have a whole lot of experience going backwards.
Not only not a lot of experience, but they also, I don't know if anybody ran warm-ups today. So
that's true.
I think, if anything, the last time the juniors got a chance to run backwards, I don't know, maybe yesterday, but probably Friday, I think. So, yeah, you're still coming at this fairly cold. McAllen already improving, 27.2. That'll knock down her first round by 0.2 or so. Blake currently sitting, just narrowly in the second spot. So Josephine right now with a best of 27.66, and she's got to improve on a 27.659 to beat Blake out for second position. So that is not much of a gap. So only a few more laps here to remain.
Yeah, can anybody respond to McAllen there? Good Lord.
I had an idea, and I know it's too late for this year, but with us being the only center, I surely wish that we could have brought either the top 5 or top 6 drivers.
Yeah. Especially for the adult side, I think that'd be a really cool race.
Yeah, I mean, it does guarantee that if you finish in the top 3 with one center, you're going to go on to nationals. But I think it would have been.
Are we able
more
to create like an
competitive.
addendum and make it our own kind of invite-only thing? You know, top 5
Probably
from.
not.
Well, we only have one other center in Ohio so far, so maybe. But
Well, next year you'll definitely have 6 competitors on track, so
that's true.
That'll give you more to watch. All right, we're overhead now. Drew, thanks for cameraman Drew back joining us. All right, this will be the final lap. So we already know McAllen has bested her time. She's going to get the white flag this time by. The only question now is to see if Josephine can edge out Blake's time. That 27.659. She's got a 27.663 on the board. That'll determine who's going to sit in the second and third spots. No, does not look like they improved. So McAllen's going to come through reverse turns 2 and 1. And that should put her in the pole position for the juniors.
So she has swept it so far with 1 qualifier to go. And it's still the best out of 3. I'm sorry, this is
Best
the
out of
second
2.
qualifier. Best out of 2, yeah. So she's got it.
Yep, that is it. 27.2. Knocked 2.5 tenths off of her first qualifying time. Oh, I spy Mr. David Pollins over there.
Under the camera guy.
He'll be competing in the adults later on tonight.
4, it's going on Jensen.
They talked to you. They talked about you. They saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard you, Drew.
David's shy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So back to the teens we go. As it looks like they're locked and loaded for their second qualifier.
We're making really good time because adult GP is not supposed to be till 6:30, and it's 5:30 Eastern time right now. So
That's great.
good job, track guys.
Yeah. Bump it up if everybody's here.
Well, they're probably not, so.
Yeah. Actually, all 3 of you are here. Yeah.
Yeah, we could. We might have to consider that, actually, because I don't think Jason and I can sit up here and talk for a full hour. I know Jason can.
Yeah, sometimes. I can fill dead space. Dead air, dead space. That's all right. I'm excited to see the finals here. If the qualifyings have anything to say, these times have been incredibly close.
1 and 20.
So what are the teens shooting for? What is position number 1's time?
A 25.62.
25.62.
That's
so
the time to beat.
midway into the 25s.
Yeah, that's correct. You have to wait till they cross the timing line to start the next race on the scoring system so that it doesn't trigger an extra lap. That'll get us on the board. So Apex Racing rooting for Jensen. I thought at first it said, "Come on, Jason."
I did too. I had to read it twice. I'm like, what did I do now?
What's Jesse saying in the chat?
Jesse says, I'll come try and race the next GP if I'm off. I've been hitting my 25s regularly.
Oh,
Good.
nice. Yes.
So you'll be competitive if you're hitting 25s regularly. That's good.
All right. So we're now on board with Mr. Mason Tucker in the number 1 machine. Also on board with Jensen again. And I think we're just waiting on Gavin's name, I think. On board with the number 31. Jensen first to drop to the top of the leaderboard.
Low 26. That's good. Almost 26 flat. How many times have you seen a 3-digit 0 number? So like a 25 flat or a 26 flat?
It's very, 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 very rare.
I actually think in one of the endurances, I think it was Armand and Rachel had like a 26 flat together or something. It was really weird.
Yeah, we've seen a few ties. It's
Very rare.
Very rare. We've seen ties before. Tiebreakers are always the best average of the race. Mason sporting the Sparko gloves. And Sparko shoes, too, maybe?
Could be.
Really running out to the edge of the corner there in the outside of turn number 2.
Miles says, why do you run reverse track during the States? I guess just to have fun with it, James? I don't know.
I think the intention is to make it as even as possible.
Level the playing field, right?
Because, yeah, in states like California where you have multiple centers, there's going to be home field advantage. Mason running wide there also in that turn 2. So it's just an attempt to make the track a little bit different from what the drivers normally race so that it tries to even it up a little bit.
I like that idea. It's not a very often run track orientation, so it does kind of level it out. Jensen getting close to the time that he needs to be at 25.690.
Oh, he's so close.
Yeah.
He did a 6.78 last time.
And Gavin not far behind. Mason's the only one still in the 26s so far. And there's a 25.58 from Jensen. That is good enough for provisional first as it sits. He has bested Gavin's time last time of 25.6, so that is good for him. Is boost enabled, Jesse asks. No, boost is not enabled for the GP series. You gotta come check out an endurance night for that. And if you haven't tried the endurance night and you like racing, you gotta come out and try the endurance league. It is a lot of fun. So a few more laps to go here. Jensen's got this one wrapped up so far. Unless Gavin and Mason can find a few extra tenths of seconds, Mason's still struggling to get into the 25s. And Jensen does it again, 25.557. So beats his own time for provisional pole still. Gavin's not far off. Gavin did best his last time in the last qualifier, but couple hundredths of a second off of Jensen for that first place.
Did you comment on this?
Yes, yeah.
The 25.5?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I was talking to the track about timing.
That's okay. This is big news.
Yeah, so Jensen, provisional pole.
Yeah, and Gavin really close behind, so either one of them has it right now.
And this is what we've seen all year long in the teen league. If you're tall enough to drive the adult carts, 4'10", and you're under the age of 18, you can participate. You just show up, actually, this coming Tuesday.
25.512, so just whittles away at his time. Jensen doesn't have a response on that lap. He's got 2 laps to go if he's got anything left in the tank, and now is the time to use it.
Yeah, Gavin snatching the provisional pole back.
There he goes.
We'll be watching him as we join him overhead now in the 31 machine. He's going to get white flag this time by. Let's see what he triggers on the timing board. No, it does not improve. It's really going to be up to Jensen, though. So, Drew, let's follow Jensen because we'll be able to see if he jumps that gap. This is really going to be a key lap for him. I asked him yesterday if he was a little bit uncomfortable in the car because it looks like his legs are fully stretched out, but he said no problem. All right, let's see. As he comes across the timing line, does he improve? No. 25.746.
So close.
And that'll clinch it for Gavin Patterson. He will take pole position for the state championship in the teen league.
He really found something in the last third of this qualifier because before he was running almost half a second back from Jensen.
Yeah, I think he found some warm tires.
Yeah, that could be it.
Just confirming on the numbers here, that'll put everybody improved. So Mason, 25.0. Whoops, I'm on the wrong board. Yeah, Mason's last time was a 25.837. Well, it doesn't improve that round. So,
Basically, it was a mirror image of the first qualifier.
yeah, exactly. Gavin, Jensen, Mason.
So now we go to the junior finale.
What? On here.
Oh, it looks like we're going to grab an interview. Since we've got plenty of time, so. So the starting order being Gavin on top, that was aligned with his finishing position. He finished 105 points on the season. However, Mason and Jensen are switching. So Jensen's starting in the second position. He finished third on the year with 101 points. Mason was 102. That's how close these guys were all year.
Wow.
If you weren't here earlier, I mentioned that the wins on the season were split. Gavin with 4, Mason with 3, Jensen with 3. All these guys sharing in the glory for the season. Oh boy, we've got Giovanni Blackerby on the headset. And Owen. Hi, Owen.
Hello. Alrighty, so we got Giovanni, the past world championship winner for our juniors league. We got some people here, obviously, gonna try and emanate what you did there at the World Championship. Do you have any tips for those who are gonna go on to the World Championship and try and win that? What did you do to win that, really?
I just practice a lot on my sim rig. Ducked my head to make basically human DRS. Taking a smooth line. I'm pretty sure they all know that if they're making it to the National and World Championship. But like, just be confident in yourself and believe and don't let anything discourage you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
And try to listen to all advice that is given. Don't be stubborn. Be like open to get help.
Yeah, critique and criticism, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Take us back to the National and the World Championship. Now, you were back there, 10 months ago or so. You started, so you finished, was it second in the National Championship?
No, I finished third.
Third,
I
okay.
started second, and then I kind of got T-boned. Not going to split out anybody's names, but got T-boned, and then I went all the way back from sixth. And then last 3 laps, had to make 3 positions.
3 positions, yeah.
And then I did it. And my dad, if you guys have time to rewatch the video, look over on the spectator side. You can see my dad just jumping and like screaming and being so happy.
Yeah,
And
definitely exciting. And then, what were the nerves like starting in that position for the World Championship? I mean, you were up against guys from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And
Canada.
was there anybody else, or was it just the United States and Canada?
United States and Canada.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so you're getting ready to start this race, and you're like, this is the world title on the line. You're starting from third, right?
Yeah.
What was it like? Take us there.
Wait. I didn't qualify third.
Oh, they re-qualified you
No,
for the Worlds?
I qualified first in the Worlds.
Well, your finishing position, right? Or did you?
No, it was qualifying. So I qualified first in the World Championship, and I finished first. And so they did a qualifying. It wasn't qualifying based on your position on the.
Gotcha. So you did re-qualify. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, it's fine.
All right. So that you qualified for first. You're sitting on the pole for the World Championships.
Yep.
Okay. Take us back to that moment.
So if you again have time to rewatch, you can see my face. I was just locked in. I didn't really look at the cameras. I just was looking at the track, eyes on the track. Yeah. Defending like a madman, making sure that take my lines perfection while defending, making myself a block on the track. That's basically what it took.
Were you super nervous?
I was nervous, but I try to make the nerves not get to me and just try to be confident in myself and believe in myself.
Yeah. Well, great job. Yeah, it was great to have you representing Canton in the World Championship out there at States, and we hope that these drivers who are here tonight are going to progress and do the same thing. So thanks for coming to support them.
I really hope they do great.
Yeah, and you've been driver coaching them too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been telling them, things you've been giving them tips and tricks?
Blake has been having trouble in the carousel, but he's gotten really good at it. I've showed him some tips and tricks, and he's gotten really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's doing a great job. Blake,
and also for the teens as well, right?
Yeah.
You were here yesterday for the clinic. I'm sorry, not the clinic, but the academy, and with Jensen was here as well. Any advice you gave to him as he was driving?
Nope. I didn't have any time. I didn't want to I didn't want to interrupt the coaching session because I knew that they were doing something. I didn't want to interrupt anything.
Well, it's very nice of you. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for coming and watching and supporting all these other drivers. We hope to continue the tradition, if it is a tradition, of Canton representing the K1 National Championship.
Yeah, he's passing the torch.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Cool. So now we're getting ready for juniors, right? Yeah. Do juniors go out first or teens? Does it stay in the same order or is it flip-flopped?
I think we're going to stay in the same order.
Cool.
If I remember correctly. Getting a little, make sure all the charges are complete on the cars.
Short races.
Yeah.
Big batteries.
Yeah.
It's got to be nice.
I just saw something in the chat. Throw it up there for Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel just jumped in the chat, said, I just finished my states and I won Austin. So congratulations.
Nice. Congratulations. So I'm assuming you guys ran that this morning. I think the other centers ran this about 8 o'clock in the morning. But that's awesome. So, yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you out there. Did he say which league? No?
Yeah, is it teen, junior, or adult?
I would assume that he's teen or adult in his first year.
On YouTube.
Wow, that's great.
That is awesome.
And then Miles asking, do you run your own karting academy event? Yes, we did. So this was something we just started doing this year. We ran it last month for the juniors and just yesterday for the teens and adults. Went really, really well. It was focused upon, obviously we tried to improve lap times if we could. We went through the racing line, that kind of thing. But it was also really geared towards giving drivers the opportunity to be on track with other drivers, to simulate racecraft, passing opportunities, start stops, reverse grid situations, all these kind of things that you don't get to practice a lot of.
That's
so
cool.
We did a lot of that simulation, and we had our own Marshall Miller out there on track to really mix things up. That was a lot of fun to watch. Marshall Miller was the one who was showed him the racing line to start the day, and then as the day progressed, we pretty much put him at the back of the field and told him to weave his way through traffic and to give these guys something else to focus upon than just trying to get the fastest lap time. I said this is about cognizant ability. It's about knowing that there's somebody beside you, and what do you do, and how do you hold the racing line, and if somebody does something to you, how do you react? So
that's cool. Yeah, I used to do that a lot with the public arrive and drive races.
Oh, look at this shot. Look at what's ready to go.
Ooh, that's what's up for grabs.
Very cool. Thanks for setting that up for us, guys. Yeah, we will have the podium celebration after this. We have our camera down there.
It's anybody's race, too. I mean, I know McCallum is, like, fast, right? Super good qualifying and all the way through the season and that. But do you get nervous going into this?
I don't remember. When you're this young, do you get nervous?
I don't know. Or are you just excited the whole time? And
yeah. Or do you just help your fellow driver as they do, which is awesome to see.
Yeah. Love to see the sportsmanship. All the way through the adults. I mean, there are no secrets. Marshall, you can ask him at any time. Rachel, Armand, anybody, how to get faster. We all help you try to get faster because it's a lot more fun to race with people that are fast than it is to be the fastest one all the time. It gets boring.
If you're just joining us tonight, you're coming in the first section of the live stream, and this is the teen and junior competitions for the state championship. We will transition over to our regular GP series for the adults here right around 6:30 Eastern time. And then after that, we will have the grand finale, which is the adult GP series state championship. So you want to stick around for that. And if you're watching this past the live stream, we'll probably have a little bookmark for you down here at the bottom. You can jump ahead if you want to. Or maybe just watch the juniors who are about to race. I saw a chat earlier for Jesse that asked if boost is enabled. No, it's not. Boost is strictly set aside for endurance races right now.
Yeah, that's what we told him, and he was saying his next comment was he's going to try and come to an endurance race. I was like, that'd be sweet. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Endurance racing is... GP is a lot of fun, but endurance, if you like being in a cart for a long time with a lot of people, it's a really good race. Looks like everybody's geared up, ready to go. Pull the pin and let them out on track to line up. They get a full warm-up, or is it pull past the line and grid up?
They should pull past the line and then grid. But I don't think they're going to get a warm-up lap though. I don't think. I don't know.
Cool. I like that.
Out.
Cold tire start.
Yeah.
Makes it fun.
Yeah. I have a little bit of residual heat left in them, but not much.
Yeah. Apex Racing in the chat asking if you win this race, then you go to national. Yes. Yes, that is how these work.
Yeah,
so,
and for us, it's pretty straightforward because it's just 3 drivers. You're guaranteed to advance, but you have to participate in this in order to move on.
So they grid up away from the start-finish line by a few spots, looks like. So they go into the carousel for their first turn.
Yeah, which you and I have raced this in the reverse direction on cold tires. It's very fun.
It is. Fun's one word for it. Frustrating, fun. Yeah, it depends on if you're on the receiving or giving end of the fun.
That's right. Yep.
Because you can dive in pretty easily into that turn if you get a bad start.
There's just enough space here to get a running start. Maybe not so much with the juniors, but there's on the adult carts you definitely get a running start, and then the a lot of understeer on the cold tires when you're starting like this. So
yeah. Right behind where you guys see us, Jacob's adjusting the start lights. We have LED lights that go all the way around the track, inside and outside now. So instead of relying on the flags, which you might not be able to see if there's only one flagman at the station, and especially because this track goes inside and outside where you see going through the garage doors and comes back in through the second door, the lights here really have made a big difference for not only the big stuff like the 12 hours and stuff like that, but just regular racing like this as well. It's just a lot more precise. And visible to the drivers, which is a good thing from all angles.
As they try to turn the light the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, see, there is one in the far back there. That's usually the most commonly used one. So.
Yeah, so that one should be all right because that's the one you see when you're coming across.
All right, so stand by for the junior championship. This is a position-based race. Watch for the green lights. And we'll see what happens. Blake with a little bit of a false start. Now they're off. Somebody needs to start the scoreboard so that they are lap timed. Everybody off to a great start as McCallum leads the field with Blake in the orange helmet behind, followed by Josephine Matthews. As we'll look at the onboard from Mr. Blake himself and see what we can expect as they run this track in the reverse direction tonight.
McCallum looking behind in every corner. Blake right on the rear.
Yeah.
Playing defense all of a sudden.
Really looking behind her quite a bit. I'm surprised. She's going to take a defensive line in the carousel as he's going to push her. And Josephine back here in the third spot is, she's going stopped on the track. Pressing the throttle again, repositioning her foot. We'll go back on here with Blake Scheckler, who is in the third turn right now. The only thing that always makes me nervous on the junior cars is because it's so easy to push these things sideways. If they get that nose up along the right-hand side or the left-hand side of the rear tires, then they are going to push those cars wide. The last thing we want to do in a state championship is to stop them. He hits the barrier just a little bit. That's going to allow McCallum to get away just a little bit.
It looks like Josephine is stopped up by the... Yeah, she stopped at the stop-start line. Might be a cart issue of why she died off. Maybe we can get a replay and see what happened with her.
Okay, we're going to bring out the spare car. We're going to replay this for a second.
Yeah, we're on board with her in the replay if you want to just switch over to it, because this is...
So she's with them in the reverse turn 5.
Yep.
And then it just stops.
That's where we saw her stall there for a second. Then she continues.
Did she reach for the seat adjuster?
And then...
And then stops right here on the track line to tell us about an issue, I guess. So
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we know as much as you do now. That's why I love replays. You can jump on board and see what happened. Looks like she's all situated, ready to go, though.
Was this the same cart that McCallum questioned the seat sliding back?
I wonder if it
41?
was. Yeah.
Maybe what it was.
Owen fits perfectly in the junior cart.
Yeah, he does. So my guess is they're going to just put her right back in the back of the field so that she doesn't lose the gap.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because we know right when the car, the seat slid, apparently, that she was just a car length or two behind. So
other than that, though, there's a two-way battle up front. Hopefully Josephine can jump right in with that. And then they will continue to go on the green lights.
all right, she signals that she can see the green lights.
And we should be good.
Are they discussing the distance? All right, feet off the pedals.
If you watch the stream enough, you know that means we're about to go.
Yeah. Blake giving another little anxious little nudge there
I saw that.
as they restart. And we're back. Under track action. We're 2 laps on the board. Last lap's registering the 200 seconds due to the stoppage, so hopefully we're good to go from here. As we'll now join Blake Scheckler on board.
The orange Crocs still get me. I love it.
Yeah.
Looks like McCallum was able to break out a lot more of a gap than what she had last time, so that's a little bit of breathing room.
It almost looks like the tire temp was reversed. So when he got started, it was like McCallum was less comfortable on the cold tires, and now he's still trying to warm them up. That's my guess, because he keeps looking down.
And they're all three about evenly spaced.
I tell you, it's worth repeating that the cars are so easy to slide sideways. Anytime you turn the wheel and you stay locked without unwinding it smoothly, the car just wants to slide sideways on you. So it's really hard to control. And every time you do that, you just lose tenths of a second, just lap after lap after lap.
Yeah. Look at them, though. They're basically evenly spaced across, so they're running. No one's running faster than the other right now.
Yeah, we'll see what their lap times are as they tick across. McCallum's still setting fastest lap of the race as Blake does a 28.
Josephine catching up to Blake a little bit with that time, about 0.2 of a second faster. So McCallum looks to have this in the bag so far, almost halfway through the race. We might have a race for second place at this point.
You can hear the tires in the feel of the steering wheel as she goes across those corners. And this is what she's done all year, is she has learned where to control the car. As soon as they give you that little bit of chatter, you got to unwind the steering wheel so that the rear end doesn't snap around on you. That turn 4 we know is difficult in the adult cars just because you have to get it timed just perfectly. You don't hit the outside wall in your exit. And then right here, sometimes in the adults you lift, but it looks like they're going to stay on the throttle all the way through. We'll check on Blake to see as he's coming through that same corner. Anytime you get a little bit of a bog going through that corner, it'll cost you tenths of a second. The junior cars really like momentum. They are probably the closer thing to the gas karts, which is opposite of the adults. The adults like to just like point and shoot. You get them turned in, you hit the gas, and you go. The throttle.
27.2 from McCallum, fastest lap of the race so far, with a few laps to go. Looking at Blake and Josephine's time, they're about neck and neck at 27.9, so they haven't really been able to make up a whole lot of distance on each other or on McCallum in first place.
It's almost like the gaps are dividing evenly.
Yeah.
They're growing evenly.
Overhead, that's what I was saying, is the overhead shot was kind of cool because they were all like separated out by, well, there's a gap now between McCallum's running a little bit faster than Blake, but for a while they were just neck and neck, and they've all gotten faster at the same rate but kept the same distance away from each other.
Yep, McCallum now has a large lead as she's going to tick off lap number 10. This is the way a lot of the junior races went last year, is her leading the field and leading the charge, not only in qualifying, but also at race pace. Very consistent lap times as she went purple even the last time by. And white flag will be displayed. 1 lap to go before we wrap up the junior championships for the Ohio State.
So far, this hasn't changed how they finished in their final, correct? It was McCallum, Blake, Joseph, first, second, third?
That's correct. Yeah, for the regular season, it's exactly how they finished. And she will round turn 1 one last time. McCallum Schleybaugh will take the checkered flag and claim the Ohio Championship for the GP Series, the year 2025. And yes, it is the 2025 championship, even though it was a 2024 season. Congratulations to Blake Scheckler finishing in second. Josephine Matthews, an honorable third. All these drivers finishing with 27-second lap times on the board this last time by. Great job to these competitors all season, and great job in the state championship.
Very even times. These kids are going to grow up and be so fast if they stay with this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to McCallum as she moves into the gas karting world. See how fast she picks it up, because she's done very well here and picked it up quickly. And I think that's her sister right there. Is going to be the first to congratulate her to get out of the car. She's actually passed the torch on to her sister, who is running the Junior League this year in the 2025 series.
That's so cool. So now we'll run the teens and then do podium ceremony after that for both?
Good question. Well, we were planning on doing it both, but she get hugs from the family. We're going to find out here in a second, because we might just go ahead, based on the time, to do the junior podium.
Looks like the teens are in their carts ready to go.
Great to see a crowd out on the fence line tonight.
Yeah.
You guys can go ahead and do the podium celebration for the juniors. Well, is that going to mess you up if you just want to? Do you still want to run the teens? I don't
say run the teens and then do both.
Okay,
that way
I'm fine with either way.
You could jump down there and.
Cameraman Drew is supposed to go man the other camera, so
might as well run the teens first.
I'm sure Zach is down there. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Finley Schlebaugh is the one I was looking for. Her first round in the January Junior League, she finished 8th. We had 2 heats. I believe she was the winner of that we call it the B main or the second heat or whatever.
So same format as the teens roll out. They'll get 12 laps. And we'll see if they can improve upon where they finished for their national championship or state championship level. Get a short distance here to warm up your tires like Jensen's doing. Any little bit helps from a cold cart.
Yeah, Gavin, Jensen, and Mason, your starting order for this teen league.
Same. Did they qualify the same as they finished for the end of the year?
It was Gavin, Mason, and Jensen.
All right.
So they swapped the two, second and third.
Pressure is on then.
Apex Racing giving a route for Jensen. All right, we'll get us off the screen as we now focus our attention on the teens. 12 laps for the Teen League State Championship. Waiting for the green. And off they go. Mason just got a fraction of a second better than Jensen. You're going to see him right on the tail of him as they round turn 5. Gavin got a clean start. Now they're going to even up the gap as they go through turn 4. A little slippery. We'll follow along on board here with, we'll go Mason first.
Good view what's going on in front of him. He was able to close that gap up, but Jensen got a really good drive out of turn 1 there.
Yep, controlling the car very well under cold conditions. Probably one less lap than the juniors need to warm up their tires. Mason's really going to push the edge of the wall there. We see his racing line differs just a little bit from Jensen's as they get away through the start-finish line. Gavin already setting fastest lap of the race. Mason kind of sliding sideways. That's going to cost him just a little bit of time back there in the carousel. Boy, that balance of the carousel is really tough to get just right. We'll hang on one more lap and we'll describe it in the positions. This is what's unique about the reverse track is you have all this speed that you're going to pick up right here going across the front straightaway. And then right here you lift, and then you just try to figure out where your turn-in point's going to be. Some drivers are able to brake there, but it's really difficult to do because it's very sensitive. Gap overhead pretty consistent as Gavin last lap was already purple. We'll see what he ticks off on lap number 3. He'll go purple again, 25.775. So far, all 3 of the drivers showing pace appropriate to their qualifying times. And this kink in turn 4. Some drivers lift there, some drivers add a little bit of brake. Whatever gives you the best balance to push through that corner. But I tell you, the outside wall comes up on you quick because you have so much momentum going into the reverse turn 4. And especially when you go to the outdoor track, you have all that speed carrying from the outside.
That is a very difficult turn coming in from the outside.
And that was something I was going to comment. So Gavin Patterson winning a couple different of the GP series last year, but one of the things he struggled with when we first opened the outdoor track in the middle of the summer was how to get a hold of that track. And so you saw after a couple wins on the indoor season, we opened up the outdoor, we switched, and it kind of threw him through a loop. It took him some practice runs in order to get adjusted to that. But I tell you what, once he got it figured out, he was locked in.
As we reach almost halfway point, Jensen's lap time a little bit quicker than Gavin. You can actually see from the overhead here that that gap is closed up a little bit. But does he have enough in 6 laps to catch Gavin?
Since he did go purple on that board, it's going to slide a little bit. I heard a little bit of chire chirp there in the carousel. Is he running all the way out to the wall? Yeah, he does in turn 5. Just a touch of brake there on the left-hand side, left foot, back on the throttle, mid-track, off the throttle, right back in before you hit the apex to try to power out into the front straightaway. Here's that balance there. He's going to give just a little bit of braking there. I didn't hear much of the kart being upset, so that looked like some good kart control from him. Now fully off the brake. Now back on the brake, trying to control this double hatch switchback. And does he respond to Gavin's lap time? No, he doesn't, but they are within 1/10 of a second of each other. You can see even the car's giving a little bit of hop through turn 4 just because of the speed that you can carry through there. If you over-torque the steering wheel, it'll definitely overdrive, and the car will just start hopping on you. You can see some of these lighter drivers just go boom, 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 all the way through the corner.
Yeah. I don't have that problem. 230 pounds of me keeps it pretty well planted.
Yeah, that's good.
You do see a difference, though, in the smaller drivers, even in the adults and that, and especially teens. It does, the carts are so light. It helps with your handling if you're used to it, I guess, but they will hop from underneath you.
And again, all the drivers showing pace identical to their qualifying times. Gavin handily in the lead. We'll get white flag this time by. The races go by so quickly when there's only 12 laps on the board. We're used to calling endurance races that take a half hour to run.
Yeah, Gavin under no pressure either, so that's...
Yeah, Gavin even holding just a little bit tighter line through the carousel back there, which is probably the reason he's able to knock a 1/10 or 2 off of the track lap times. Anytime you can cut down on track space, it is key. And he, too, will round turn number 1, and Gavin Patterson will take the checkered flag and take the Teen League Championships for the state of Ohio at K1 Speed. Congratulations also to Jensen Janda and Mason Tucker for finishing 2nd and 3rd in the state championships. Nice, consistent driving from all these guys tonight. Knocking their lap times down and staying nice and consistent. He's going to just hammer down all the way through the checkered flag, make sure that everything is scored properly. And as he tilts his head back with a sigh of relief, we say congratulations to him. A win on the season and now a win for the Ohio State Championships. All three of those drivers competing and moving on to the Nationals out in California later this year. Round of applause from some of our adult GP drivers as well as some family who will greet Gavin at the fence line and give congratulatory, is that a high five or a handshake over to Jensen?
Are you going down for the podium?
No, I wasn't going to. Do you want to?
Either way.
Doesn't matter. Even Owen is celebrating. Apex Racing asking, are you guys going to stream in Cali?
I would love to, but man, there's some serious logistics involved in that.
Yeah. If you saw all our setup here, it'd be difficult to take out.
Yeah, every super chat helps us. I'll put it that way. The money donated and gotten from this channel helps us build the stream. So every bit helps, not asking for it, but just saying that, you know, the views, the likes, the subscribes, all that stuff. I don't have to say it. If you guys are on YouTube enough, you always hear that. But
leave Preston's up there for a second. I was going to read it. He said, hello, everyone. And then he said, is the Nationals at K1 circuit like the one SCUSA or Superkarts USA ran at? Yes. Definitely teens and adults. They will run at circuit. There's also some information that says the juniors are going to try to run out there. I don't know how they're going to do that yet.
Interesting. Junior karts out there is the rumor mill, I guess. So
that'd be some long lap times.
That's a really long race.
Well, even a half track. Can you imagine a junior kart just going up the hill there?
Yeah, typically the juniors are at one of the K1 facilities in California. But yes, I would love to, but we're not there yet. Yeah, Instagram Live. I did go live last year on Instagram, and there were a lot of people that checked in for that. But who cares about that when you've got the fastest of the teens and juniors here for the state of Ohio?
Perfect. All right, we've got cameraman Drew down there at the podium, and we've got Zach on the mic. Zach, we'll go ahead and open up your mic just in case you need to say anything. So.
You're good to say it loud, and it's going to probably sound with the mic. Try to say it loud for the juniors. Say we're going to start with the juniors.
Alrighty, we're going to start with the juniors. So in third place, I have Josephine Matthews. In second place, I have Blake Scheckler. And in first place for the Ohio State champion, I have Josephine McAllen Schleybaugh.
You can go ahead, shoot them. Go ahead.
I told you I was going to fuck that up.
You guys look over here.
I didn't even see that. He's finished.
I like the DRS activated shirt from McAllen.
Yeah, that's great.
Someday DRS would come to go-karts. That'd be awesome.
Closest thing we have right now is the boost button.
Yeah, it's a pretty good substitute, I think. Opportunity for the family and friends to take pictures of their top three finishers. Congratulations again.
Then we got to clear all the confetti out and do it again for the teens.
Zach, you got to sweep everything out.
Mason, Jensen, Gavin. Go. Alrighty, for the teens, in third place, I have Mason Tucker. In second place, I have Jensen Janda. And in first place, I have Gavin Patterson.
All right, I guess they got their pictures even faster than all the juniors.
Yeah. That was such a cool shot with the confetti in it.
Yeah, great job, guys. So that was Adam's idea to have the party poppers, and we had no idea what they were going to do.
Yeah.
But they looked pretty good.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah.
So now as that gets all cleaned up, we gear up for our regular GP series, right?
Yeah. Going to switch gears completely.
How many people have signed in for GP?
Haven't even checked. Let's see. I think 15.
Wow. Good group.
Including Marsha Miller, Anthony Narofsky, Rachel, Patrick Dittmar. Oh, Patrick's going to run GP. Awesome. As well as David Pons, Alex Eckelberry, Kyle Weber.
Kyle
All
Weber's
right.
back.
Hey, I guess if Mason's here, you might as well run GP.
Yeah.
So, Tyler Stevenson, Victor Weber. Victor, I don't know if Victor has ever run an adult GP before, so that'll be awesome. Dale Zoller, all the way from Cincinnati tonight. And then Brett, Nate Groh, Jacob Dundee, and Katie Wise and PJ Mannypenny. Always not to be left out at the very end of the list.
So here's the question with 15.
Yes, they run all together.
15-person final?
Yeah, they run all together. Yeah.
That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Yeah, there's no reason in separating those two out. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of known names there, too. I don't know Dale. Dale's in from Cincinnati, you said?
Yeah, so he tried to make it a couple months ago because he does arrive and drive here.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't work out with some family issues, unfortunately. And then he saw me yesterday and he said, hey, I'm here to run GP. So
Cool. All right. Love it when out-of-town people come in and try this.
he usually watches us on the stream, I think. So.
Yeah. Look at that. It's everyone in the stream right now in the chat. Come out and try it at K1 Speed Canton. It is a lot of fun. That was an original hope of the stream, is people would watch it and want to try it.
Yeah. Apex Racing asking, can you read out the names for teen on Tuesday? Actually, so the teens is just arrive and drive. So nobody signs up. You just show.
Show up, check
Yeah.
in at the computer, and
Yep.
get on the racetrack.
It's the same as the adult league too. So if you want to race it, you just need to be here by 6 o'clock, and then we race however many people are there. We run as many heats as we need to. And if that means staying till midnight, that means off till midnight.
Woo.
Jason's like, no.
That's fun, though.
Yeah.
I love it with the big races. It's good to see GP has good numbers. Endurance always puts out some, well, lately has been putting out great numbers, but it's always fun to stream lots of drivers on track.
And if you are joining us for the first time, thanks for finding our channel and checking it out. Thanks for clicking on the video. Biggest compliment you can give us is to watch another one. Maybe go back to last month's Endurance League. Maybe go back to watch January's GP. Get to know some of these drivers. I think it's the more drivers you know, the more likely you are to follow. It makes it more interesting. Because racing's not about There's a lot of things involved in racing, but the most important is the drivers.
Absolutely.
We can make it about the cars and the technology and all that cool stuff, but without the drivers, it's nothing. And that kind of moment right there.
Yeah, great family sport here. I mean, there are multiple families from the Webbers and the PJ Manny Penny, Katie Wise. There are a lot of families. A lot of families that compete together and against each other once they get in the karts is how I've heard.
Apex is Jackson. Okay, yeah, Jackson, just come in. Just come on Tuesday. All right, we're going to jump up on top of the scaffolding again and welcome you back to the booth. If you've just joined us, you're now in phase number 2 of the schedule for today. So we just finished our teen and junior state championships. We're going to move into our regularly scheduled adult GP. And then at the very end, what you want to stick around for is going to be the state championships for our top 3 drivers for the 2025 title, which is drivers who competed for the 2024 season.
Do you have to remind yourself as you say that?
Dude, you know how hard it is for me to keep track and say all this stuff?
Yes.
Oh, man. You know how many times I make mistakes? I go back and watch the live stream and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't right.
Yeah. That's okay. We can correct it. Post-edit. We have such a big post-edit team here. It's great. We can just do post-editing
Consisting
everything.
of nobody. Yeah.
No, it's fun. That's why the chat's here. You guys can remind us what is right and wrong. Also in the chat, though, let us know who you guys would like to get to know more of. Like James was saying, we want you to get to know the drivers and root for them. There's a lot of friends and family in the chat, but if you want to get to know drivers more, let us know, and we will try to get interviews with them. Let's see here. Preston Fisher said, when I did the adult karts for the first time, I was fastest by 1.5 seconds. Totally wasn't underweight by 15 pounds. Not entirely sure of the context of that, but...
My guess is that you were in gas carts.
Yeah, where they are weighted.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Apex Racing, I want to donate, but I don't know if my parents will let me. Please do not use other people's credit cards to donate money to us.
Yeah, just come race.
That's even better. That's fun. So,
if we could get some information from our track staff on what we're waiting for to run adult GP. There they go.
Like
I heard
Adam's
the call.
Calling it, yeah. So in other news, March 14th is coming up, which is the 3rd running of the 12 Hours of Canton. It's exciting.
The 3rd year already.
The 3rd year. I always said once could be a fluke. Twice was like once you run it 3 times, it's a thing. So
3 is like, please let it work.
It is, yeah. And we have 9 teams this year running, which is a huge field. And you can still sign up to be on the wait list. Actually, we got someone the other day that signed up. So sign up to be on the wait list, and we can see what we can do about getting you in for the race, but it doesn't look like it this close to March. So
yeah, we're definitely not going to go to 10 teams. So.
Yeah, so next year would be your goal for that. But check it out because we will live stream the whole thing.
We had some people asking whether teams are still accepting drivers, and I think the general consensus is not right now.
Yes.
It sounds like everybody's kind of tied into their team.
Perfect time. Thank you for the segue, James. So there's a couple things I want to clear up really quick. And anybody 12 hours related will get this. If you're not, then you just get a little inside information. Yes, teams are still accepting freelance drivers. I forget what we called it, free agent drivers. So you can sign up as a single driver. We send out a list to all of the team captains of who is still looking for a ride. There's a lot of really cool people in that list. I wish we could do it like we did the first year where we made a team called
Misfits.
The Misfits, which was all of these people from all these other states and everything put together in one team. They showed up and they raced together. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Andy Cook, for doing that. I have to thank him every year for doing that. But yeah, so that
was a standard salute. I'm sorry for those who.
Oh, no, there goes the demonetization.
Some people who watch the news.
Anyway, so
I salute you, sir.
You can still sign up as a freelance driver. Teams are still going through those. We send those lists out. Also, everything for the 12 hours is running pretty much as it has for the past 2 years. Minor differences. There are 2 team practices that you can come to. They are an hour-long, 9 a.m. Dates are on the website, competitionkarting.net. Check it out there, but they are $150 per team, per cart that you guys want to use. So there's a couple stuff out there. I'll make a separate video for that. But you still can get in as a freelance driver all the way till February. Oh, I'm going to mess the date up, so I'm not going to say it. First or second week of February. So you have about
until
the
next
14th.
Friday.
Yep, the 14th, next Friday, to get on a team. So still, you can sign up competitionkarting.net or 12hoursofcanton.com. Jump on there and sign up.
So did I hear you correctly? There are teams still looking for drivers?
Yes. So I actually fielded a couple phone calls Friday from a couple of teams that were asking for the list of drivers, which was sent out. So they wanted the most updated list.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody got absorbed onto a team or not, though. I haven't seen the final count of everything.
Okay. Yeah. So somebody was asking us earlier this week if they could join a team, and I checked with a couple of the teams, and they said no, they weren't looking for anybody. So
yeah, it's up to the team individually, so you can still sign up, and then the team will see your resume. You fill out your racing experience and all that stuff there, and the team can adopt you in if they need. We actually had someone get picked up by a team the day before the event last year because they ran out of people. 2 people dropped off. They got sick or something like that. So that was pretty cool. So you never know. Sign up as a freelance driver, and you might get to drive the 12 Hours Canton. If not, we'll see you here on the stream March 14th for 12 hours straight, usually 13 with the intro and everything, of really, really good racing. We're the only ones in the world at this facility that can do 12 hours electric go-kart racing. So that'll be a ton of fun. A lot of these GP drivers are in the 12 hours, too. As I run down the list, I see a bunch of them.
as they should be.
Yeah. Practice.
Yeah, you gotta come practice. Practice.
Yep.
Well, let's shift gears for a second since we are going to go into the adult GP. We've only had one round so far, but let's get some point standings. Pretty easy to figure out and calculate because there's only been one round. Oh, what a surprise. Marshall Miller sitting at the top of the list.
Tyler Stevenson, though. That's good.
Yeah, it is. And Armand Deligny, which...
He's not here tonight,
I did
is he?
see him on the list. No.
Oh, no.
He's always, well, sometimes hit or miss. No. He is.
He's
here. He's
okay,
here.
Good. So he's
All right.
chasing after it.
Sorry,
I was
Armand.
worried he was going to miss a year.
And then Anthony Narofsky, man, this kid, every time he's not a kid, sorry. This guy, every time he's racing here, he just keeps going faster and faster and faster. I commented that on the Endurance series. It's going to be interesting to see what he does tonight. Nate Groh back in the list. He is on the roster tonight as well as Alex Eckelberry. Alex just he's always right there. You know, he was in the A mains and the endurance leagues, and he's doing consistent times. So we'll see what he can do from 6th. Katie and PJ sitting in 7th and 8th, and then a new driver, Brett Jacques and Jacob Dudai. I think we pronounced it last time.
Dudai. Yes. We went back and forth on it. Did we ever correct that with him? Which one was right?
I didn't.
That's okay.
I don't know.
Apex Racing says, I bet Marshall will win. So the chat has lit up again with the bets of who is going to win. Feel free to comment your favorite driver or the driver you are rooting for. And we'll try to get a camera on them so we can watch it all first-person view.
Off to qualifiers. Okay, so we're the adults in the adult carts. We're going to have 2 rounds of qualifications separated by multiple heats. We will take your fastest lap time and then sort you fastest to slowest for one big final position-based racing at the end of the night. So this is what we're going to do from here. We're going to look for best lap time, see how they run.
As we saw Marshall hang back, create quite a gap for himself.
Almost sitting at the tail end of the field as he starts his warm-up lap in car number 36.
Preston Fisher said 12 hours is crazy. I can barely survive the 1-hour LO206 Junior Enduro. Yes, that is what everyone says about the 12-hour race. It is a crazy, fun race.
But remember, it is a team sport, so you get to run that with team drivers, so you are switching on and off. Having said that, yeah, if you only have 2 to 3 drivers, which some of these teams do, it's a long day.
It is rough. We've seen professional drivers come in and drive it, and they were beat up by the end of it.
Yeah.
It's fun, though. It is definitely something to try in life if you've never run a long endurance race like that. It is definitely worth the T-shirt that you do get for doing it. Now I can say that. I came, I got the T-shirt, I did it.
Yeah, it's worth the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Marshall Miller, the fastest so far. We'll be seeing times lower in the 25s as he did another 1:25.7 there. You're riding on board with Alex.
David's mom's in the chat.
Welcome, Don.
So where's David's fastest lap now?
Well, we'll just look for him. So, and good to have Rachel running on screen tonight. She'll be in the championship tonight. So heck, why not run in the Adult GP regularly scheduled event?
Yeah, a little warm up because her, David, and Marshall are here for that. With the Rossi Shark helmet, different than the Sonic helmet.
Well, I tell you, then the crew did a fantastic job of keeping us on schedule because we are right here, a little past 6:30 Eastern Time, starting that league. So thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, big thanks to the track staff here. This is easy up here. We just get to comment on everything they mess up.
I know.
Down there is where it's really at.
That's where you get to make the calls.
Yeah, so they're doing a great job. Marshall with a 25.601, so mid-25s. Everybody running pretty much 26s through 25s, so pretty quick. First lap, cold tires running at 25.9 is ridiculous, says Jesse. You are correct, but that is a Marshallism.
Yeah, it is. And Jesse knows what that's like because he runs a lot of races, and just nudging into the 25s is that window of... I'm searching for the right word here. It's all the fine details of handling the car.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're trying to make up that last half a second. It's really hard to say, well, your line needs to go here or there.
The last half a second is the hardest to work on.
It is. You can jump, from your 32nd to your 28 seconds pretty quick. You're in the 27s, like when you're like, okay, I understand how these cars work. And once you get to 26.0, pushing to the 25.5s and 25.6s and stuff is tough.
You remember when you first opened, that was the whole thing, when we were setting the faster and faster times and then it just plateaued at like 26 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then working down from there was everybody helping everybody with the minute details of kart handling. And the karts have gotten better, I think. They're just a lot more consistent across the board, so it's easier to work kart to kart.
All right, Drew, let's follow those guys. We got David and Anthony in the same shot. And that's the hope, Jason. It's a never-ending battle as the karts age and as they get beat up. And
frames. I mean, it's not just chains and tires like most people would think.
No.
I mean, the stresses on the frames are changing everything about it. So you're always fighting something back and forth with it.
But look at these top times so far. 25.601, 690, 695.
Proof is in the pudding right here. And I agree with Apex Racing. James, you should do one race in the adults next league. We'll mic you up and everything.
Yeah. I could run one, maybe the endurance, but I can't do the GP. I'm sorry.
Yeah. 25.484 from Marshall, so already
the first one to bust that 25.5 marker. Anthony and David on a tear with near identical lap times because they are right on each other's bumpers.
I was going to say it.
Anthony's going to back off just a little bit.
It's either better or worse when you're following someone with the same time.
So earlier this week, the roles were reversed. It was David following Anthony to help get the reverse line down for the state championships. And now we'll see what Anthony does as he breaks away from that toe. David Pons, 25.9 on that last lap. But again, Alex Eckelberry right there in the thick of things. 25.8 is a great time, as well as Patrick Dittmar rejoining the classification tonight.
That's a surprise on Rachel. I know she hasn't been here for a minute, but 26.3, so she's about a second off the pace. And Patrick down there, so this will be fun to watch because this is the first of 2 heats for qualifying for the Adult GP. Jesse, you said you'd pay Marshall to train you.
We can make that happen, Jesse.
I got one better for you. It's the Academy. I forget what it's the K1 Academy thing?
The Academy was a group session, yeah.
Oh, but yeah, the one-on-one stuff.
Yeah, those are still available, though, and you can hire him as the driver coach if you want to. That's Marshall right there in the number 36, bearing down on number 8 of Rachel. This is his last lap, so he doesn't really want to separate from her or back off.
Right? Maybe she'll get a nice bump and a toe through the line.
He'll still, well, he ticked off a 26.5 on that, so. We'll watch for David and Anthony to cross the start-finish line. If you could back out Drew for just a second. Or anybody else coming across the line? I think that was Anthony. There, okay, now we got, nope, these guys already finished, so. One more lap just to have fun in the books. Well, no, I guess Marshall was the last one. Sorry, that was his last
he backed off the group. So Marshall, David, Anthony, rounding out your top 3, followed by Alex, Rachel, and Patrick for the first heat of your qualifying for GP. Now we get into the second group.
You know, I was talking to Marshall earlier, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me talking about it, but he was explaining about, you know, the amount of practice and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, you know, when you practice less, you tend to have a little bit slower lap times. It may be at a 10th or 2. But here he goes. He jumps in a cart. So that's a 25.4.8 on the very first round. It just shows that when he has the determination to lock in, and he can make anything work.
The most crazy ADD I've seen, yet he is locked in when he gets in a race car. So good to see, and that's how it happens. Talking to Rachel there, they've been friends here for a few years now.
Owen's going to snag our camera.
All right, walking along with Owen. Hi, Owen. Oh, my God.
Jeez.
I don't know who's worse, him or Drew. Oh, sticking us on Armand Deligny.
That'll work.
That will work. With a 12 hours of Canton sticker on his helmet right there.
Number 4 is Armand. M4, Armand.
Thanks for riding along with us tonight on a Sunday night. Hope you guys are enjoying the live streaming of some go-kart racing. This is the monthly GP Adult Series that is running tonight. It's also being done in conjunction with our state championship. So if you saw that thumbnail and you're wondering where the state champions are, stick around for a few more minutes and we'll get to that finale. Or you can just rewind a little bit and go back to where the teens and the juniors were racing. We just finished those championships.
Yeah, it was great to see the teens and the juniors race like that. They are so competitive.
Tyler Stevenson over there on the left-hand side. He'll probably be in the third heat. It's good, Owen. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. On board with PJ Mandypenny in the number 25.
With his GP helmet.
That's right.
The scary green monster thing. I think it's a skeleton getting its face pulled off. But either way, he's got a GP helmet and he's got an endurance helmet. Apex Racing, they are heats. Yes, they are. We are watching Heat 2 of 2.
2 of 6, I think. Everybody's going to have 2. I think we have 3 groups.
Oh, yeah. Heats. Yeah. I meant groups. This is the second group of the second qualifier, or first qualifier.
Yep. You'll also be on board with the number 3 of Jacob, who we talked about in the point standings. And, of course, Mr. Armand Deligny in the number 15. Oh, that reminds me. So now that we're in GP, just watching qualifying, I wonder if you track guys could give us a foot cam next time by. I know.
Oh, the foot cam
We haven't
returns.
had the foot cam for a while.
Apex Racing, very busy in the chat. What's the cutoff for people who don't make it? So there's one big main. So you'll make it. You just might be at the bottom of the 15-person race.
Yeah, no cuts.
I know Giovanni mentioned in his interview the ducking down. If we have an overhead shot of Armand at some point, He is one of those drivers that drives with his chin to his chest at all times.
Just in case.
Yep.
I think last time we asked him about it, he said, well, every little bit helps.
And a 26.081 at the top of the leaderboard. It shows right now. Still chasing after that 25 Marshall set in the first heat.
Yep, 25.484 is the time to beat so far.
Armand, again, 25.951. First one in the 25s.
The only problem with Armand being so tall is you can't see what his pedal work is.
He does that on purpose. He grew the extra inches just so when we put a GoPro on his go-kart, we wouldn't be able to see.
Armand, you just need to shrink, get shorter. You'll be able to see a little bit on the lift of the throttle.
He's also one of those people that keeps his head very straight. So actually, it's kind of interesting. Like if you watch his head work, his head stays centered and he just rotates his neck, but very centered. I've seen some drivers where their head moves a lot right to left, right to left.
I think it's also worth pointing out where he's looking as he's going through the corners.
Very much.
We don't touch a lot about that on our indoor track, but especially when you go to bigger circuits, looking through the corner is very important. Because if you're looking at where your kart is going to be in the next second, you're already behind. You want to be looking ahead.
They've said this in motorcycles forever, but in cars especially, it's wherever you're looking is where you're going to go.
Yeah.
It's a natural body response.
So as he turns his head to go through that corner, he's looking at the exit and not the apex.
Jesse asked, what's the max amount of people in a GP race? In a single race? Probably 15 of what you're going to see tonight would be my guess. I think that's the most we've run in a single GP race.
Yeah, probably because once you get 16 and above, then you get split into 2 heats and 8 and 8. So that'll usually work.
Yep.
Because honestly, if there's a big discrepancy in the pace of the race, you run into lap traffic really quickly, and
yeah,
you want to keep everybody going. Armand, purple, 25.69. Again, 25.48 is the time to beat so far.
So a few laps to go. Looks like the next heat is getting in their carts strapped in. So we're going to be going back to back to back to get the qualifyings done for February's K1GP Challenge.
If you guys would like the racing and you're nearby in Ohio, make sure you check out k1speedcanton.com for information on the leagues. There's a button there at the top. You'll have the 3 main GP leagues, all 3 juniors, teens, and adults, as well as the exclusive endurance series that runs here as well.
It did it again.
Well, we've been running for a while, so.
Yep.
Drew, it's your pick. Who would you like to follow around the track? I don't know if he's setting very good lap times.
Owen.
Owen, grab the scooter. We'll time you. You can be the intermission between heats. The 35 pulling over slightly in turn 4 back there for PJ to scoot on by. PJ just trying to nick his way into the 25s. That's that threshold we talked about a couple minutes ago. Everything becomes so nuanced. Lifting of the throttle, the turn-in points, the responsiveness of the front grip. Where do you lift off? Where do you brake? When you brake, how lightly do you touch? Or how lightly do you not touch the brake in some cases, as you hear a lot of lockups in the background.
And then just as soon as you get it figured out, we'll give you a different cart.
Exactly. We'll reset the whole thing.
It's close, but not the same.
Just reset your whole mental. White flag flies. Armand top, followed by Nate Groh. Nate is the only one in this heat so far, bumping into the 25s. But all the way down to Brett, it's still sub 27s. It's good pace.
So that'll wrap it up as we got the next heat ready to go. Armand Deligny on top, Nate Groh second, PJ Mannypenny third, and we'll shuffle all the times together after this next one and get an update on where we're at.
Yeah, so far that would shuffle Armand into actually second because David Pons was a 617. So Armand, tentatively, second right now. But if I know these drivers, I know that I expect it will be seeing some different times in the second qualifiers.
Yeah. It takes time to get used to everything.
Looks like we still have some podium celebrations still going on
Look at
down
that.
here. Party with the trophies.
I'm good. Preston asked, how fast are these compared to a mini Swift? Do you know what a mini Swift is?
How fast does a mini Swift go?
Even better question. Preston, how fast is a mini Swift?
We can tell you relative to that.
What helmet did Armand have? Sorry. Asked Apex.
What helmet did Armand?
Yeah, he had
He has the white helmet with
White and
the
blue.
12 Hours of Canton sticker on the top.
right there. Look
yeah,
at that.
one right there. Thanks,
Perfect.
Thanks, cameraman Drew.
That's great. Okay, Preston said 65 miles an hour
All right, we can't go that fast.
on this track.
Owen did the calculations for us. He figured out the gear ratios, the number of teeth, all this kind of stuff. And his calculations said 60 miles an hour, right, Owen?
As he pulls up his spreadsheets, double checks the math.
I told him it was going to go 70. He said, no, I have this calculator.
We have a fun way to figure that out if the weather ever changes.
Someday.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, no, they're not as fast, but they can go as fast. So just to give you an idea, with this indoor track, with our outdoor extension, we've clocked them right around 43 miles an hour.
Yeah, we were shooting for that 45, but just couldn't get it with the track layout.
Well, we can.
Well, yes, we can.
It's
What they normally rung at
Yeah.
is 45. Apex Racing, shout out to Drew. Thank you for the heads up on the helmet.
so here's the thing with where my opinion differs from several drivers, because we've turned the carts up all the way before. My
Yeesh.
opinion is that they become undrivable on a small circuit like this.
Yes.
However, people like Marshall Miller says, I would love to run a race with this setup on it because it's challenging. David Pond said the same thing.
1,000% agree with that.
Jason's on that board. I think the reason is because I have to pay for the chains and the motor and stuff. That's why I don't want to go as fast.
Yep. And that's all right.
All right, you're going to have Jim Johns, Kyle Weber, Tyler Stevenson, Victor Weber, Dale Zoller, and Ethan Sterling joins the group tonight. All right. Ethan Sterling starting his endeavor in some open-wheeled formula cars. So let's see what he can do in the go-karts tonight.
Apex, there's 15.
No sense in bunching it up, guys. Make sure you space yourselves out. That's Ethan, who's going to run right in the back of, I think that's, Dale have a custom helmet? Drew, zoom in on the white helmet. What car number are we? Oh, is that Jim Johns? Yeah, okay. So Jim has number 7 in the white helmet.
11's
So
Ethan
let's hit
there.
this. All right. Ethan's going to scoot on by Jim Johns. Ethan, a recent graduate of the teen leagues. We had him competing in that series on an on and off basis throughout the year. So it's cool to see him jumping into the adult league this year. Remember, if the only differentiating factor really that determines whether you go teens or adults is whether you're under or over the age of 18. Now, obviously, you still have to be tall enough to drive the adult carts. That's a given. But if you're going to turn 18 the year of the competition, you're allowed to start in the adults and vice versa. So but whatever league you start in, whatever series you start in is what you have to finish the year in. You can't just jump in the middle of it. On board with Dale Zoll at number 6 machine, he is looking at the back of Victor Weber in the 29. This is exactly the kind of thing I think. Well, Jason and I have agreed on the importance of coming to GP leagues because you're now on the track with fast drivers.
Yes.
So if you've ever had a try struggling with some of your lap times, you get out here and try to follow somebody who's faster than you.
Bumping into Victor Weber there, it looks like, as he works his way through.
As he passes Victor Weber, it's worth mentioning that Victor Weber did complete the 50-race challenge here back in December.
Oh, cool.
So he's been around this circuit a few times, namely about 500 times in a day.
I'm so glad that people are still doing that. I remember the first time. Oh, man.
And I haven't jumped on board with Tyler Stevenson yet. Yeah, Jason was the first one to create and complete the 50-race challenge because he's like, how many races do you think you can do in one day? And we were like,
Let's
how
see.
many of you, however many you want. However many you want to pay for.
Now you get your name on a trophy for it. It's so cool.
Yep.
I love that other people do that.
That trophy now has, I just added 4 more names to it. So
Wow.
What does that leave us? 3, 6, I want to say 15 to 18 people now. This
It
guy
is definitely a challenge.
just mentally, like, it makes you wonder your purpose in life. Like, I haven't done this, but being around the guys, after they hit that 30, 35 race mark, they're just like, okay, why am I doing this again?
30 to 35 is when it hits you.
And that's right around the 6 o'clock time when it's dinner time and you haven't got any food yet.
Yep.
You've been in a go-kart all day.
You said one time you're going to try that. You still think you're going to try it?
Yeah, I should.
I know you wanted to run it the one time we ran it as a group, and it just got so busy.
Drew, it'll be dealer's choice here and who you want to follow. The problem I keep running into is, one, the last couple drivers who came to do it did it kind of unannounced, so there was no planning involved.
No.
And the other thing is just being caught up in the
Day-to-day?
Cart composition, I call it. Because we're either preparing for a week of GP or we're preparing for a week of endurance. And between those weeks, that's where a lot of my focus goes. So
Apex says he raced with Victor during his 50-race challenge. Cool.
that is the coolest part, is at least you get to bring friends along with you. They don't have to race all 50 races, but
I remember that towards the end of the first time I did it, it was so nice just to have people come in and race with you.
yeah. Tyler Stevenson, 25.7. He's knocking on the door of these 25.6s we saw earlier, but that's not a surprise for us.
Ethan right behind him. 25.718.
I'm a little behind on the camera shots here. Now let's go to Ethan. See how he hooks the carousel there. Runs a little wide on it. Always a bad spot there. All right, let's see if we can catch him on a full lap here. Kind of a normal line coming out of 3. Quick right left into turn 4. Ooh, right up against the wall. The bouncy section back here with no garage doors, and then a little left-right action as you hook your way through the carousel. He took it just a little bit tighter there, I think.
25.642. Tyler Stevenson improved on his time a little bit.
Oh, he's shooting for that 6.17 laid down by David Pons earlier. Those guys are usually right in the same bank with each other. Ethan has that very recognizable reflector helmet tonight. Solid black helmet with solid reflector. 25.610. Okay, so now Tyler Stevenson has bumped his way above David Pons by 7 thousandths. Now that he's got his tires warmed up and his mental acuity there, we'll ride along with him. See if he can make any improvements on that. Looks like last time by was a throwaway lap, so maybe we'll get it together this time. The Blue Man and then a car number 24. Drivers ignoring the slowdown sign in turn 5.
Tyler, 2 thousandths of a second off his last lap. On this last lap, he is trying for Marshall's time, which was a 25.484. So he's got basically 0.2 of a second to work off of there.
The whole field has 0.2 of a second to work on.
Yeah. 25.531.
There we go. If anybody from Fickable is watching, I don't like the way you show your results. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud.
If anyone from Fickable is watching, we don't like the results there. I said it for you.
It never shows just the heats.
Aw. So you have to... Oh, I see.
Armand had a 6.06. All right, so Tyler bumping his way in there. That'll put him provisionally second.
Is Marshall wearing his $1,200? He is. Sorry. I caught in a camera shot there. Marshall is wearing the shoes that he bought in California, those $1,200 Air Jordans.
Hasn't he worn those a lot, though? Yeah. Those are $1,200?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks, Drew. That's enough.
Speaking of the foot cam,
yeah, there's
Owen,
the foot
put
cam.
the foot cam on something.
Yeah, Owen.
Just
I think we'll be okay on battery for that one. So.
Shove that camera somewhere. I mean, put it on. Put the camera somewhere down by the feet. Oh, man. If we haven't been demonetized by your wave, we definitely are now.
That was a salute.
Yes. All right, what is it looking at? Let's see.
Oh, we've been streaming now for how long?
Yeah. Okay, that looks good, Owen. That's a good foot cam. I like that angle. What do you guys think in the chat? You like that? You'll see the driver's feet. Yeah.
Hopefully the car's off. Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. And
Oh,
Marshall
it's going to be on
Miller's
Marshall's.
feet.
Okay. This is the shot that most people want to see. All right, we've completed the first swoop of qualifiers.
Take your pick. It feels like the teen and junior he's FaceTiming. He's FaceTiming someone.
Or Snapchatting.
I don't know.
Might be Snap.
Yeah, it felt like the teen and junior state championship races went pretty quick, and now we're working our way through 15 drivers for the regularly scheduled February K1 Speed Challenge GP.
This would be a good time, maybe, to bring up the split screen.
Yeah, maybe. There we go. Can we do an onboard? No, wait, he doesn't have an onboard.
Although that's going to be tough to see, isn't it? That's not going to give us a full pedal range. We needed 2 cameras on one car. That's what we needed.
Yep.
All right, maybe we'll come back to that later.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Full screen.
Perfect.
Yep. Marshall's like, great. You're going to give away all my secrets now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to give us 2 cameras?
Oh, put one overhead on him.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, thanks. We can do 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second here. 2 and 4. Will this work?
I think one overhead and one on the pedals would be like the perfect mix for it, but we'll have to see. We can play with this.
So what I I need to save this as split. Split 2. All right, and then, hey, this is the fun with being part of the live stream, guys. Did you get to see this in real time here? Give me...
Yeah, Preston, I'm glad you caught that, buddy.
Give me a second here. Get this situated here. Yeah, you like that?
There
oh, wait, it's
we
too far
go.
over. Never mind. Hang on a second. There we go. Now, the question is, are they synced?
No.
No.
But close.
They're not. Well, at least you get the view.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
We need
what?
to mix in an...
Okay, so it needs to be the overhead shot.
Yeah, yep.
All right, Drew, you're going to be following Marshall, okay?
That's what I was thinking, is one of the GoPros on the roll bar, one of them down by the feet.
But they're not going to be synced.
Oh, that's true.
It'll give you a kind of an idea where he is, so the foot pedal is going to be a little bit lagged from where he is on track. So that's turn 1 right there. Turn 2. Kink in turn 4. I'm narrating the bottom screen for you guys. Roundabout turn 5. Through the carousel. Ooh, 2 lifts. And then front straightaway.
With a 25.9 on that lap.
There's braking into turn 1. Lift into 2. Back on. Back lift for 3 again. A nice right-left motion into 4. Into 5. No braking today in turn 5. Back on the throttle through the carousel. There we go, through the carousel. Now onto the front straightaway. Well, hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you guys. We'll just do full screen here for a little bit. Look at the suspension work that takes place. And even though it's a, it's a 3-year-old surface of fairly flat concrete, like look how much the suspension works. Just that jostling back and forth with the steering linkages, that's what I'm watching, because that's where your arm fatigue comes from, especially doing the endurance races. Anthony going purple, 25.68.
Preston says he needs to be smoother with his feet, like lift and then brake. Well, Preston, come in and beat him.
Yeah. Did Preston say where he's from?
South Carolina, I think.
Okay. These cars are tricky because the pedals are so sensitive. Like
they really are.
The brake pedal really doesn't engage until like the last 10% of the throttle. And then the throttle, you can see how he's just like on, off. It really doesn't, in a lot of cases, it doesn't do very good to just come off and lift just slightly.
Yeah.
Because you're either taking the drive off the motor to go through the corner, or you're just back on full throttle and letting the motor carry you as fast as possible. Whoa, it's auto zooming here for us. Or no, it's just falling. Okay. All right. Go back on board and pay attention that we're halfway through this qualifying session. Check on board also with Anthony Narofsky. Very similar lap times to his first round, still 25.6. He's a little slower so far, but only by hundredths. I think it's particularly interesting that Anthony is so smooth at the brakes. Watch. Oh, of course, it's going to separate. We go through turn 1. Let's see if we can get a shot of turn 1 next time by. But I was standing next to the track when he was here practicing the other day, and I knew he was braking, but he never locked up the tires. And I just made a comment to him about how, like right there in turn 5, he's so smooth on that pedal.
That's a skill in and of itself.
It's a huge skill, yeah. Marshall purple now 25.5. Just not going to get a great shot in turn 1. You'll be seeing this guy in the 12 hours at Canton. He's going to be on the team with Giovanni and Team Downhill Burrito. So you'll get to see this track action in play in about 6 weeks. As he's now on the heels of David Pons and the number 14. David Pons 25.7 so far. As we're now getting a little bit of bunch up in traffic. These guys were neck and neck last time. Anthony going to peel off for a second, let Marshall go by and get a gap. Alex Eckelberry trying to improve on his last round, which was... I almost had it. Sorry, guys. 25.819. Finally found it. There we go. Oh, he's an 814 this time. Consistent.
Consistent.
You can follow him, Drew, in the number 17. Looks like the Papaya McLaren, possibly.
Yeah.
Aren't you impressed? I know the name of that color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Everybody's improved upon their times all the way down the board.
Patrick Dittmar's first time, a 26.5. Yeah, knocked a couple tenths off there.
It looks like just David and Anthony are the ones that switched spots from their first qualifier. Yeah, everybody else is the same. Marshall with a 25.515. Last lap burner. And we'll clear the track of these guys and girls and get on to the next one.
So between Marshall's 2 qualifying times in 2 different karts, it's 0.031 seconds.
Wow.
300ths. Nope, never mind.
Wow.
He was still on track.
Okay.
4.64 compared to a 4.84. So he
That's
improved
his last lap
by
burner.
200ths.
Wow.
Oh, we missed it. Sorry, Marshall. Replay that one. Back up just a second. Can you, do his last lap? Because we'll have the foot pedals, I think, for the full lap, give or take, if we can find out where it is. Oh, this will be cool because you'll be able to see how close he was to David, I think.
Yeah, there's David's bumper. There's the start-finish line. So, yep.
All right, so let's go to replay here. Marshall's last lap.
Actually, this is pretty slow. This is where he gave his little wave.
Oh.
So, I caught the start-finish line of his last one.
He gave us his own selfie.
Yeah.
You want to try to find the last lap then?
I can do that.
You've joined us in the middle of the Adult GP for the month of February. Stick around for the state championship final here after we conclude these qualifiers and we run one final race for the regular monthly series. I think that'll be sometime around the 8 o'clock Eastern time. So Jason's working the replay system here to try to figure out where we can kind of like pick up his last lap so you can see the pedals for that 25.4 second lap time.
Got it.
All right. Is this front straightaway?
Yep.
Look how close he is to David. You can see his car right there. Is this the lift into 2?
That's
No.
the start-finish line. So this is straight away.
Okay.
That's turn 1.
Turn 1. All right. Lift into 2. Turn left. Now back on it for the right-hander. And then this is turn 4. Nope, that's the start-finish
That's the
line.
start-finish line.
Okay. Reset. Okay. Didn't realize the... I think that's the cool-down lap right there because I think he got slowed down. So.
I thought I saw that start-finish line
Oh, well, worth a shot. Thanks.
twice.
This time you're going to be back with Armand Deligny, who is waiting to find a gap. Also on board with Nate Groh. And it would never be an event without an onboard from Katie Wise. Get the qualification board back here on your screen.
As the first laps come in.
I'm going to recalculate this again because he did 4.84 on his first lap, and I wanted to know the difference between him and the second car. And it was a 4.64. Oh, that's easy to do. All right, so 200ths. 200ths of a second separating his two qualifying times.
Wow.
Jacob first to the top of the board in the mid to low 26s so far. Give it 2 to 3 laps to warm up before Armand takes the 26-2. I hear yelling in the
I was
background.
going to say, Katie's fighting her dad, so.
Oh.
Armand first in the 25s at a 25.898. Not surprising with what we saw out of his first qualifier. Followed by Nate Groh getting close to the 25s.
One, two.
Let's jump on board here with Nate Groh. Haven't seen a lap from him in a while. Looks like he's taken a long way around, gathering up as much speed as he can coming into that first turn. Jacob Dudai jumping ahead of Nate on that last lap, 26.019.
Nate usually qualifies with the 25.8, 25.9. He's very consistent with that. I'm sure he would love to see that knocked down a little bit.
Yeah, both Jacob and Nate just barely outside of Armand in the 25s as Armand bests his last lap with a 25.848.
You like our little background graphics here?
I do.
You should have seen 3 of us sitting up here playing with them and trying to figure out what was the best layout for them. It was funny. I said usually we have the endurance race, which fills up more of the left-hand side, but it's just smaller heats tonight. But maybe when we get to the final, we'll see how it spaces out.
Yeah. It'd be cool to get all 3 of them in there somehow. Or 4 GoPros if it's like...
Well, we can. That is possible. It's we'll go to Drew's shot. So Drew, back to you.
As we get the overhead gap as PJ and then Nate.
Drew is subconsciously thinking right now, well, who do I want to follow so that they can be the thumbnail on next month's?
Right.
Because a nice, close, tight shot of a car speeding through turn 5 or turn 6 would just be so cool.
He's setting it up right here.
Yeah.
There it is.
There's PJ's shot right there. You have to make it look like they're driving aggressively. This makes it look cool. Ooh, a little slide, you know. All right, there. Muscle through turn 1. Dun, 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 dun.
When is the next endurance race?
It is February 16th all the slots are technically full. You can text the number on the website if you want to be a reserve driver. We take several reserved spots for in case drivers don't show up.
Which does happen on those nights sometimes. I've seen a lot of reserve drivers
Look
get
at that
in.
qualifying time from Jacob Dudai tonight, 25.7.
Yeah, he's moving.
We saw him at spot, was he 10th in the points, I believe, when we did the very beginning of this?
I think so. Second half of the group, I believe, yeah.
So that's the number 9 of Nate Groh. Let's pick up the number 11. I want to follow him. Is he the blue shirt?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rapidly closing the gap to PJ in front of him.
Yes, he is here to compete tonight.
This last lap, tough to get around someone on your last lap and put in a good time as PJ dives away, gives him a halfway friendly wave of like you could have waited, but
yeah,
that's not going to help anybody's time except for Armand Deligny, who does set his fastest lap.
Yeah, Jacob's qualifying time in the first round was a 26 flat or 26.08. He did not break into the 25s. Now, knocking almost a full 3/10 off that time. That's a great qualifier for him. That's going to put him in good contention today.
And that'll round out the second group of qualifiers.
What's that, cameraman Drew? Are you talking to us?
I wasn't talking to you, no.
Oh, okay.
Armand, Jacob, and Nate, top 3. We will see how they sort out as we get the last group of qualifiers out for their last qualifier before the big final race we're about to have. Perfect timing.
Adam, if that is Drew asking for his own GoPro, it's a big no.
GoPro on the cameraman.
Cameraman does not get his own GoPro.
That's when you flick the camera around.
And we've seen what happens.
No, I just disconnected for some reason. Wow. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay.
Wait, are you on the handheld?
Yeah. Okay.
You can talk on the handheld mic if you got that.
No, I do not. No, it's not at the podium.
Oh, okay. Well, then we won't light that mic up just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Six.
Fancy new toys we got.
My hands are burning as I'm touching this Apple product.
I was going to say something. I'm so surprised you have an iPad.
I had no choice.
You had no choice.
It's the only way this software operates.
Well, it's good software.
Yes, it is.
I don't want to hear it.
All right, let's get these guys out and get their last qualifier so we can watch 15 karts at once for tonight's K1 GP Challenge in February. Jump in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for or where you're watching from. We are live with replay, chat, multiple cameras, and James is holding an iPad. It's a big night. It is a big night.
I got to stop because my fingers are burning.
No. Yeah.
All right, let's see if these line up. I don't have a preview. I just got to go live with it, so.
Preston, we would add an LCQ, but everybody's in. You just might start in the back of the pack. And we do that because if you qualify bad, you can still work your way up through the pack and finish pretty well. What are you looking for?
Well, we lost one of the cameras, so I can't do all 4 of them.
Oh, bummer. GoPro 3 has gone. GoPro 3 has left the chat.
Let's do this. See, this is 4. And it's going to be 4. There we go. Tyler Stevens is going to wait a little bit. All right, 3 times the action tonight on the GP qualifiers. Tyler's going to wait all the way for the field to come around so he's got clean track space. Sorry, I got to bring some of this volume down.
I like that view. You can kind of pick who you're watching for and you don't miss anything.
Time to beat is 25.464 by Marshall Miller. I think everybody else was in the 25.6s, if I'm not mistaken. So Marshall has a big lead on the qualification runs so far. But we'll see. Tyler Stevenson's still on track. If there's anybody who can give this guy a run for his money, it's going to be him. We're waiting for his first lap to complete on the timing board.
And top of the heap for his first lap.
Ethan Sterling already looking for a way by Kyle Weber. Kyle's out here to just enjoy some good racing tonight. Out supporting his son in the teen league.
Running a 26.7. It's not bad. But I think you're going to have to be buried in the 25s to be in the first half of the field.
Yeah. We'll give Tyler a couple laps to warm up. And
already at a 25.9.
Also see what Ethan can do. Ethan's last time was a 25.71. So once he dips down, Kyle Weber jumping second.
All right, 25.9. He's out here to compete.
That's right.
As we see Kyle go flying by Ethan again,
yeah.
Swapping positions. Everybody's tires getting warmed up 5 laps in. Now is when you start seeing the times drop.
I don't know, if the cameras were more consistent, that might be the best way to watch qualifiers, because you can easily jump screens. I don't know, you guys let us know. Do you like this?
I like it for different people in the chat getting to watch all the GoPros. When we are running 4 GoPros or 5 GoPros, you can kind of pick on screen who you want to watch for the qualifier, and it gives you guys a lot of stuff to watch all at once. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, we live in an ADD world. Why not?
Right.
What? The only thing that would make it better is if we put our picture-in-picture down here on the left-hand side.
Oh, man.
I like it. Thanks.
Who do you think's going to win adult states tonight?
Oh, great question. I have no idea. I really don't. I don't even want to guess, because there's a lot of factors that play into this, and I think it's going to be a good competition. So
I agree.
We've got a mix of drivers who have done different levels of practice, but also drivers with different levels of experience, and yeah, don't know.
I think in a way it's almost a throwaway race for the center. They're the best drivers from the facility, and it's like you throw them in a group and you know they're going out to the Nationals. They're going to do well in all their different respects. I think it's going to be really interesting to watch when we bring in a different facility to compete against them.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. And until then, we should have just maybe proposed the idea that the top 5 or top 6 advance.
Yeah.
Because then that way you could be competing against the actual top 3 positions.
Mm-hmm. You get almost like a last chance qualifier or something. You get a last chance effort to turn it up in one race and get into Nationals.
So Ryan, I'm sure you're watching us. There's your recommendation for next year.
Yeah.
Centers with one facility per state. You got to take the top 6 drivers.
Who's the guy in the booth with you in the commentary booth? That's me, Jason. Hi.
Tyler Stevenson, 25.5.
Jinx. And Kyle Weber's hanging in there. He's actually bettered his time from the 25.9 that was up there.
Dale's also throwing out good lap times as well. Look at that low 26.3. Almost matching Jim John's. I just noticed it's 3.75 for him.
Yeah. So Tyler takes the white flag. Does he have anything to catch Marshall's time?
Yeah, Drew, pick up Tyler because we'll watch his final lap. I think he'll be the last one across the line. If everybody stayed in position, not sure. We'll find out here momentarily. What does he got? He does improve, 25.513. Great job, Tyler Stevenson, on that last lap burner. Anthony Narofsky had a 25.532 on that last qualification run. So assuming his first one wasn't faster, which I don't think it was, that will slot Tyler in good position here. Yeah, because Anthony's first qualifier was a 25.6. Great lap time from the blue man. Even though he's got a new blue shirt tonight, he's still blue. You'll also be seeing him in the 12 Hours of Canton. A lot of these guys will be in the 12 Hours of Canton here in a few weeks. Various teams.
Yeah, Tyler's, I forget what team he's on now. I think he's on PJ and Katie's team?
No.
Or is he running with
Pons?
That's it, yeah. That'll be a good team.
What is it, Pons? The Minerva Auto Club team? Is that who's sponsoring you guys?
It's either Superfly or Minerva Auto Club. He asked us to change the name from one to the other, and I don't remember which one it was.
So this is Jason, for anybody who hasn't met him yet.
Hi. Used to be around all the time, and now I'm around some of the time.
You miss a month, and we got new fans who don't recognize you already.
It's great. It's great. New faces. I love it.
Did you watch the last live stream where Drew filled in for you?
I did. It was great.
See, Drew doesn't have a mic right now, so how do you think he did?
I think he did good.
Give him a 1 to 10.
Go with sorry. Owen on the screen just distracted the crap. I would say solid 8.
8?
Because he's so used to the flow here, right? Listen, a 10, Drew. A 10 is like seamless, the whole thing and everything, but you're behind the camera all the time.
Right.
So he's here, he's got the flow and everything. You know who I think is a 10? Is the announcing for the 12 hours. You and Derek. That is a 10.
Yeah, thanks.
Between the two of you guys,
Derek is pro.
That is still my 10 when it comes to this stream.
Derek has that announcer tone to him.
Very much.
And he can say the same thing 7 different ways and 7 different times.
Because he has to for 12 hours.
The same thing.
I think we've gotten better at this. Heck, I've gone over and watched some of the old live streams, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we've taken this so far from when we started. You're holding an iPad tonight.
I know.
This is how far this has come from one camera, one GoPro-ish.
If there's any question as to how I'm dedicated I am to your live stream, it's right here.
No, it's
22,
cool.
22 years in IT, we never supported Macs, iOS products at all. It was just not my thing. I never agreed with the way that they operate as a company. And here we are. I have to use an iPad. So you're welcome.
Yes, exactly. K-Bush fan. Yeah, final is next.
One more qualifier.
Oh, no, I forgot one.
No, you didn't. Never mind.
Okay. They all blend together when there's this
Fickable,
many
I don't
of
like
them.
the way you display your results. Yeah, no, we're good. We're on the
So they're picking carts right now for their race.
for the final, yeah. And stick around after this final. We're going to go to the adult state championships. So,
But wait, there's more.
yeah, you didn't click on the thumbnail by mistake. It is accurate.
Out of 15, most of the names that we know, who's the biggest mover in the race?
Okay, so the interesting thing is we have more than 15 drivers.
How many?
We have 18.
Perfect.
So, yeah, they are going to be split into two.
Oh,
We're not doing 18 drivers
that
on the
would
track.
be fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It sounds fun,
It's a
doesn't it?
special night, special race, 18 drivers.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
I think you might have some upset drivers if that's the case. Yeah, so that time did bump Tyler Stevenson into the number 2 spot behind Marshall Miller, the pole sitter, Anthony Narofsky in 3rd, Armand Deligny 4th, David Pons, your 5th place qualifier tonight. Closely followed by Ethan Sterling, who is probably your youngest. Yeah, he is definitely your youngest driver in the field tonight. But Jacob Dudai, wow, that is worth mentioning in itself. So let me go back and see where he qualified last month. He's been practicing. He finished 10th last GP. Don Pons says, you want to throw her comment up?
Yeah.
Live stream has come a long way. Thanks for doing it. Thank you for watching, Don. Our most reliable washer.
Yes. We'll go with that.
Watcher. I want to say listener, not listener. Back to the excitement of the lead-in.
Right?
All right, everybody's picking cart numbers. It's random assignment. They're getting set in their cars. We'll line them up for a starting grid.
So 8 and 8.
8 and 8. Is that right? Or 9 and 9.
9 and 9.
9 and 9.
9 and 9.
Good turnout. Thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate that. I hope this is enjoyable for everyone involved, and I hope they're having a good time enjoying racing.
So B main. I've seen a lot of helmets I'm familiar with. I've seen some that I'm not. Jacques is written on the side of his. Thank you. That's convenient.
Yeah, that's Brett. So we know his last name. Kyle
Rachel.
Weber is going to lead this field, though.
And then Rachel Hart buried in with him. That's crazy. Yeah. Jim Johns, PJ Mannypenny. All the good drivers. This will be a good race. Yes. Jackson. There are 2 mains and then the states.
Correct.
Right afterwards.
Yeah, we're now clarifying that Jackson is the same person, Apex Racing and Kyle Busch fan.
Yes. The only thing I have to say is make sure you're watching the YouTube on both channels at the same time. Just comment on one or the other. We'll pick it up, but it does help. So now we're on to the fun of the February edition of the K1 Speed GP Challenge here at K1 Speed Canton. You're with us on a 38-degree Ohio night.
Is it really 38 degrees?
It is.
It's warm for today.
It is. I know that because I don't have to go in tonight, which makes me happy.
Nice. Going into work, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to my buddy Andrew if he's watching. Thanks for dragging me kicking and screaming back into the snow business, buddy.
Do you watch the stream while you're out snowplowing?
I did last time, yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually in a loader last time, so I had the phone mount in the loader as I was pushing the parking lot.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was
you didn't
great.
Chat with us.
Yeah.
You didn't chat with us.
No. No, it's bad enough I'm watching it. I thought about it, and I did.
Even just to say hi.
I know. So the drivers will sort themselves out onto the starting grid. And then whatever friendships have been made in the pits are now gone.
Null and void.
When that green light flag drops. Dale's getting his footing here with the gas and brake. Scrubbing the tires in a little bit.
He does some outdoor racing in, I think, GT type cars. At least some sort of autosport
kit.
Yeah. So he's used to the warming tires, warming brakes kind of routines.
Yep.
It's a lot different in a go-kart, though, as far as the feel of it.
We should change that slow down sign to go faster for the leagues.
Yeah. I would love to make that a little bit quicker to program.
That would be cool if we could send messages and stuff.
It takes time to connect to it on an app and update it. Tell you what, though, we have all but eliminated crashes in that corner. It's actually
with that single sign. I remember when you got that, and I was like, really?
Yeah. So it didn't work the first setup because it just said slow down, but then we added the strobing effect, and that now catches people's attention. So we're just going to add one to every corner.
Look at that. Solving the world's problems of the NTSB at a go-kart track.
The NTSB?
Yeah, National Safety Traffic Board. Yeah.
Oh. It's kind of like those speed limit signs that they put on the roads nowadays where it says your speed is. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Do you do that? Because my reaction is total opposite of that. I try to hit 99 every time, and it never gets above 70.
No?
No.
Must be calibrated wrong.
I know.
It's just so nice of them to put speedometers out on the roads now.
It is
because I didn't have one in my car before.
Depending on what car I was driving, I might not have either. There was legit a couple of cars I had that didn't have speedometers.
That makes sense, yes.
Yeah, it's nice in the world we live in now. You can just pop it open on your phone and have it right there. But it is, they've done a lot to increase traffic awareness, which is really good. I'm a big fan of non-distracted driving.
Watch for the lights, 16 laps on the board. You're fighting for position this time. You're going to be in a standing start, single file, diving into turn one. Let's see what we can do for the month of February as Kyle Weber is going to lead the field in the B main. And off they go. We're still on Dale Zoller's onboard camera, which I didn't mean to do, but that does show a decent start from everybody. Kyle gets a good jump away from PJ.
I have a feeling there'll be some moving in this race, as we see already in turn 5 back there. But
we'll
the
see.
Group coming down into turn 1, Kyle's got a really good
good lead. Rachel's going to be right on the back of PJ in the yellow helmet. First bump of the night that we've seen.
Followed closely by Katie, so bumps are to come.
Yes. Expect a pile up there soon. Katie the Bull.
Everybody pretty much running the same line, though. Nobody's ducked out yet.
Last time I remember Kyle Weber running a position-based race was back in the Boost League days. I imagine it's pretty good for him to sit out there and lead the field tonight. It's probably an awesome feeling.
It's always nice being out in the front when you have a little gap like that.
We're with you, Drew, so go ahead and follow those leaders. Check up on board Katie Wise real quick. Rachel right ahead in the number 10.
Kyle with the fastest lap of the race, too, twice in a row, about a 1/10 of a second consistently faster than the rest of the field, so his gap is increasing just a little bit.
We'll jump one car up to Rachel Hart. There was that strobing on the sign there for just a split second.
It caught my attention.
Yeah, good. We'll see what it does when we open up the outdoor track. That one is particularly hazardous for a lot of our drivers.
Yeah.
So check overhead.
Victor Weber checking in with the fastest lap now.
We'll probably see all these people jump down into the 25s, I would assume. Hopefully the A-mainers selecting their carts and getting ready.
Because we still have another full set of race to go.
That's right. We still got the state championships tonight. Settling our first, second, and third finishers for the adult series. Be the grand finale. So stick around for that. You don't want to miss it. Lock into competition karting so you can see this action every first and third Sundays, most months. We'll be coming to you guys within the next 2 weeks for the next endurance round and the finale of season 5. It's already been a full 6 months since we started the endurance series. That'll wrap up. And now Victor giving a little bit of heat to Patrick Dittmar. And he's going to take that position from the number 29.
Patrick didn't give him too much of a fight on that.
No, he didn't. And Victor already setting some fast laps, so that's where he got that opportunity to gain some pace. And we'll see if he pulls away in the gray helmet.
Kyle Weber, 7/10 of a second faster than PJ on that lap. He is just out there running laps.
Yeah, we have the onboard with Kyle Weber, but nobody in front, no lap traffic or anything, as we will quickly get to halfway on the race. I actually thought, we touched on getting probably a little bit closer in this second and third positions, but there's still a car length between the two of them, and then Kyle is pulled out.
I thought there'd be more movement, but this is just another one of those testaments to how close the carts are. You're just waiting for the driver to make a mistake at this point, and everybody's got the same kind of line points lined up, nose to tail. So it's not hard to keep running consistent fast laps so long as you are dialed in.
Good way to test your skills. If you've perfected your lap time, you come to this and then see if you can run it consistently.
There's Rachel moving up a little bit on PJ on that straightaway. And there's...
taking a look on the corner of turn 2, but definitely not enough room. She's now sizing him up. Kyle just nudging on the 25-second lap times, but not quite. There we go. Now he kicked it off. 25.98. First one to dip into the 25s. Still watching that battle between second and third, and that is PJ Manipay and Rachel Hart. We'll be seeing Rachel here in a couple races for the state championship.
Just can't find a way around, and these laps keep ticking off, so you got less and less time to do it. Got to make your moves early. 16 laps seems like a lot, but it's not.
She closed in a little bit, but now the gap is opened back up again.
Yeah, PJ ran the fastest lap of the race so far, 25.9 on that last lap, so able to break away a little bit.
Now PJ, yeah. Purple. Lithium batteries powering every single cart in the field tonight. 81 amp hours under the hood. These cars can go 100 laps on a single charge. It's no problem for them to run 16 tonight. No die-offs. If you've been to other karting centers and you've felt lithium or lead acid battery kind of die on you about this point in the race, it's not what you can expect with these.
Rachel Hart going purple, 25.9, working her way back up. I know it's been a while since she's been in a cart. She was mentioning to me earlier. She was like, I need to get some practice down. And
Yep.
first 25 of the night, but not good enough to catch up to PJ in front of her, who keeps responding. That gap is pretty much the same.
Kyle Weber running away in the B main tonight. Several car lengths over PJ Manipenny. He will receive white flag this time by. Maybe this will give Kyle a nudge to keep coming to GP.
Yeah.
Maybe we can convince him. I don't know.
He's doing good. It's been a while since he's been in a cart, and he's turning 25.9s.
Absolutely.
That's not bad at all. Competitive family all the way through. Him, his son, his daughter, his sons and daughter.
And that'll take the checkered flag for the B main. Kyle Weber on top of the board, followed by PJ Manipenny and Rachel Hart, your top three.
Not as much movement as I thought there would be in this race, but good race.
The only position change we saw was back there in 7th and 8th between Victor and Patrick. That pass we caught on track. Everybody else holding their positions for the 16 laps.
Wow. Will the A main be just as exciting? Who's to know?
Hopefully it'll be as clean.
Exciting and clean, two different words.
Yeah. Sometimes not synonymous. And now hopefully we'll go right into the A main tonight.
Looks like it.
Points are awarded based upon the number of drivers who show up tonight, so 18 points on offer, 1 additional bonus point for the pole sitter. That's going to be Marshall Miller tonight. The series runs for 12 months. First Sunday of the month, look up your local K1 or come to K1 Speed Canton and get involved. You just show up for this race. There's no sign-up required. Yeah, and just jump in the series whenever you can. So obviously, the more races you make, the more points you have, and the more friends you bring, the more points that are available. So make sure you bring all your slow friends.
Right. As Marshall heads out on track.
As we're looking on our track marshal eating at the track stand.
Making me jealous. I'm starving.
Yeah, I agree.
I asked Adam if there was any pizza left, and he goes, nope. And I was like, oh, man.
What, he didn't make enough for all of us?
That should be a requirement now if we're streaming for longer than 4 hours at a time.
I know. Who are our booking agents for these gigs?
I know. We need a green room and everything.
I know.
Whoa! Oh, and you awake now?
Marshall did that exact same thing to me yesterday.
Did he really?
Scared me to death. He's like, don't worry, I wasn't going to hit you. Yeah, I was worried about my ankles.
Yeah.
Yo, what up, vlog? What up, damn it? We should low-key make a vlog.
I always like to hear the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah. Especially if it involves David Pons. Green means go, but yeah, you need to turn the track lights to yellow first. Thanks for jumping in the stream with us tonight. My name is James alongside Jason, and we're bringing you the action from K1 Speed in Canton, Ohio. Arrive and Drive Go-Kart Racing. You're on board with Tyler Stevenson. We will switch overhead momentarily before the lights go green, and this will be your top finals finishers for the night. And then stick around, we'll have the state championships to follow. Ready to stand by. Look at the focus from Marshall Mill, the number 17 machine. Getting retina scarring from the track lights as they go green. And we are live for round number 2 of the GP Adult Series. Marshall got a clean getaway, followed by Tyler and Anthony. A little bit of heat back there between David and Armand. David, the number 16 gold helmet, pushing the number 30 of Armand in the white helmet.
Tyler was already making a move on Marshall, right up on him.
We have a reverse shot from your pole sitter tonight. Looking back at the blue man, Anthony Narofsky, not to be left behind. He is part of this party tonight, the top 3. Moving up in the qualification times, lowering his times the more races he drives. 12 hours contenders, all 3 of these drivers, as well as Armand and David. Actually, the top 5 all going to be contenders from the 12 Hours of Canton coming up here in about 6 weeks. So we got the backward shot and also the reverse shot from Tyler Stevenson. The backward shot and the forward shot, sorry. Tyler Stevens has given a good run-in for the money on Marshall Miller. So far, faster just by a 1/10 of a second, 900ths. Now we've got a big gap as we're going to go overhead. Cameraman Drew spotting the top 3, followed by Armand Deligny holding up the number 16 of David Pons and the number 19 of Ethan Sterling. Ethan's a little bit further back there, but as they hop their way back there in turn 5, the top 3 are just pushing their way through. Lap number 5 complete. Lap number 4 complete. Tyler Stevenson again, fastest of the race. Now, will he employ any tactics that he has been taught by David Pons? I'm sure if David was on the live stream, he'd be telling him all kinds of different things. But Tyler just sitting back there, calm, cool, and collective. As Marshall defends just slightly off the wall going into turn 1. Didn't drive him all the way down into the inside corner, but definitely blocking just a little bit. Marshall had that car 15 for the qualifier, if I remember correctly. Or was that Armand? Not 100% sure, but there he goes. Ticked off a faster lap of the race. Oh, Tyler's going to look on the outside. Not going to have enough space. Anthony just there in case something happens. The white helmet, the number 18.
It's a good position to be in when the people in front of you are going back and forth.
Marshall Miller again deep to the inside. Going to be defensive. He's going to have the preferred line into 2. Now what does Tyler do to try to respond? Is Anthony now all nose to tail? Going to run to the outside, but that's going to cost him if he's not careful. He's got to make sure he defends the inside of turn 5 as he does. To make sure he closes the door on Anthony Narofsky.
Yeah, if Tyler and Anthony work together, they could get around Marshall. You just need that little extra bump from the person behind you sometimes to make that work.
Anthony staying on the traditional racing line as both of these guys dive to the inside. As here's tire squeals from the other cars looking back there from David Pons and Armand Deligny. We're going to stay right here on this front 3 as the competition's heated up. I'm sure Jason will have a replay at some point because we are on board with Ethan Sterling back here who's watching the action. Again, Marshall looking to his left side, just making sure that Tyler doesn't have the inside line. Anthony going to try the over-under through 3. Can he get halfway up on the cart? No, just gently bumps Tyler. Tyler's still keeping it clean through turn 4. And now Marshall's going to have 2 car lengths ahead of those guys because of that mix-up. So we'll break away from that one for just a second and go back here to this battle between 4th, 5th, and 6th. You can see the front 3 pack followed by a separation and then the next 3. And that's where you join Anthony in the car 19. David not quite as far up on Armand as he probably was here a minute ago. I think you're searching for that.
Yeah, I think Armand got pit sideways into turn 1.
The view back from Marshall is clear track space. Let's go overhead as we watch that battle because Anthony's still giving the heat to Tyler Stevenson. Only 16 laps to try to make a pass. Not a lot of time, but they're doing everything they can to mix it up as Marshall now gets away from this pack. 25.5 less last time by. With the qualifications being at 25.4s, that's good race pace now that they're away from all this heat, and he can now take preferred racing lines to take the best lap times and jump away. Sometimes that defensive line going into turn 1 really costs you, so we'll follow this battle now between Armand and David Pons. Pons heavy on the brakes in the number 16. Armand just trying to fend him off in the number 30. These guys were neck and neck in the qualification times tonight, so no surprise. Anthony Orofsky obviously pointing the 25.5, fastest lap time. Doesn't look like anything's going to change on this particular lap as white flag comes out. We'll follow the leaders this time by Drew. Marshall Miller with a comfortable lead now over Tyler Stevenson in the number 15. And that'll do it. Marshall Miller's dominance continues in the GP Series as he takes the win in the month of February in round number 2. Guys slamming on their brakes as they come across. That's going to keep Armand in the number 4 spot and David Pons in the number 5. So again, only a couple changes here in the positions from the starting order. That was between 7, 8, and 9. Jacob dropping a couple spots, Nate moving up, and Alex Eccleberry moving up 1 as well. Otherwise, dominant performance by this guy. We're going to see him in the state championship here as well in a couple minutes.
Stop. Over to Jacob Cam. Nope, not a Jacob Cam.
Jacob cam? I think it's better than the foot cam.
Well, at least there's 3 drivers and 4 GoPros, so we get an onboard for every person, which is great.
Yay.
And I'm assuming we're jumping right into this, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Wonderful.
Yeah, as we're pushing 3.5 hours on our live stream today, this is like,
Yeah.
it's practice for the 12 hours here.
Right?
We have better catering for the 12 hours, though.
We do.
Any of our restaurant friends joining us this year?
I believe, what's the name? Last year, restaurant, super nice people in Canton there.
So we had the chicken place. I'm going to, oh, come on.
Yeah.
The The bird.
Yeah, Howlin' Bird.
Howlin' Bird.
Yeah, they are letting me know if their food truck is available. They said it should be, but they were double checking, so waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully, because God, I love that place.
It's so good.
And then the restaurant. I can't remember the name of the other place.
Bubba's?
Bubba's. Yep.
The one who had the live stream on for the race itself.
Yes. Yeah, and they plan on doing that again.
Awesome.
So that is great.
Awesome. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. It makes me hungry.
Same. I was already hungry.
Especially Howlin' Bird.
Yeah,
so
Howlin'
good.
Bird's so good.
Right here in North Canton, literally downtown, catty corner to the Hoover building.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, it looks like an old-time shopping mall right there.
Yep.
So it's not freestanding. It's in a bunch of other restaurants and stuff. Look them up. Very, very good. I want to say I always said, I told a couple people, it's a couple bucks extra, but it's so good.
Then the portions are huge. The chicken is
Yeah.
like that big of a
Yeah.
piece of the best fried chicken you'll have.
Yeah. It's not Cane's.
No. Here we go.
That's just in a good way. I mean, you get your portions are better, so
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
stuff.
local restaurant. I hope every chance I get, I talk about them because I hope they do well. And they
Yeah.
seem to be, so that's good because
Yeah.
I want them to grow.
Yeah, TBFU 08, which is who, Alex?
Alex, yeah.
All right, he says Bubba's 33. And
Yeah.
Apex Racing says, James, guess what? What?
Chicken butt. I remember that from when I was a kid or something.
You're coming to the Teen League on Tuesday. Is
Yeah.
that what it is? We'll wait patiently here.
Mm-hmm. Type away. One finger at a time, just finding the letters. What do we got?
I was looking at the leaderboard up on the screen. I really wish GP would incorporate a fast lap of the race point.
Yeah, that would
Because
be...
Anthony, had the fastest lap, even though he's third position. I think that's worth rewarding.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's not a lot of separation in GP, which I understand it's because you have go-karts that vary. So, what is this?
So...
Does that mean we don't have a camera operator
yeah,
right now?
I was going to ask that.
Anyway, yeah. So I think the reason that it's a 1 point differentiator is just because you have a better chance of having an off week or something coming back and still staying in the points.
Yeah.
But I think additional points would be helpful for drivers who do really well in the race, and maybe if they don't qualify well. So
It definitely would.
just throwing it out there.
We've had some notes for Fickable, some notes for K1.
I'm gonna be in trouble.
I know. That'll be okay. Do you get a medal every time you get a top 3 during teen? I think you get a medal every time you win in GP, yeah.
Yeah, the medals are good for 2 race events, and the trophies are for 3 race events. That's the general rule of thumb.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I learned something new tonight.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Check that off my list.
What are they doing?
I have no idea.
They're not running the race.
I know, which needs to be done. Run the race.
We're hungry, guys. Come on, let's go.
Yes. All right, as the gate opens, here we go for the state championship for the 2025 of the 2024
Hang
K1
on.
GP. Okay, wait, we're going to redo it.
That way, if we have to cut, we can start with this.
We
Ready?
will cut this.
As we now enter the 3rd round of our live stream tonight, we're going to the adult competition for the GP Series 2025 champion about to be crowned. We got 3 drivers in contention for tonight. Thanks, guys, for sticking around tonight. And if you are new to the live stream, welcome. Thanks for watching. You're watching K1 Speed Canton's live stream coverage of our indoor electric go-karting race. And if we had a cameraman, we would pan over here to the cars on track, but unfortunately we don't, so we're going to have to go on board here with Rachel Hart. All right, so same or similar format as what we just did, except we're only going to have 3 drivers on the field at the time. So these are your top 3 finishers from last year's GP Series: Marshall Miller, David Pons, and Rachel Hart. And they will have 12-lap qualifiers, 12-lap qualifier again in different carts, and then we will do final for position. Again, these carts were set aside from the rest of the Arrive and Drive carts this week to give them the best shot at having the most prepared cars as possible. Let's see what they can make of it. Marshall Miller's going to be the last across the timing line. He's going to start in car number 1. Getting the tires warmed up, and we are now going in reverse direction. Changing your mindset from the race you just completed. Marshall Miller was your winner there for the February round. But that's nothing for these guys. They can handle it as you watch him overhead in the multicolored helmet, car number 1. Now, the official finishing order on the season was Marshall Miller, Rachel Hart, and David Pons. And if we look at their results on the year, Marshall Miller having 8 wins and 8 poles on the season. So out of 12 rounds, just completely dominated. Followed by Rachel Hart, who had 1 win and 2 poles. And then, David Pons, who had 1 win and 2 poles. And then Rachel Hart, who had 1 win on the season. The only other 2 wins were distributed between Tyler Covell and Tyler Stevenson. So you just watched Tyler Stevenson in the blue. He was one of only 2 drivers who won a GP round last year. Everything else pretty much just swept by Marshall. So
that's crazy. He's consistently fast.
He is. He can do it across multiple different carts and multiple different track configurations. Now, he's had mixed results in the Endurance League, but the tables are reset tonight. This is the only the 2 drivers he has to worry about tonight. And everything's basically down to qualifying. David Pons has been here a lot practicing the reverse track, trying to get it nailed down. He is always someone that we see has to work multiple laps in order to get his times down, but if there's anybody good for a last lap burner, he's a top contender for that classification.
And his mom is in the chat.
Yeah, so. Obviously, yeah. But look at the separation of time between Marshall and Rachel so far.
Well, from what I saw with her in the GP, I was kind of thinking, will she be in the 26s or something? She's been out of practice, but it's a testament to how good these drivers are. He said Marshall didn't have much practice going into this either, where Rachel just set the fastest lap, 25.668.
She jumps up to the top.
And just goes to show you good, consistent drivers are good, consistent drivers.
And sometimes maybe even better in different directions. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons I love running GP also in reverse. And
absolutely.
The drivers have asked about whether we're going to run GP in reverse this season. We definitely will, even though it's not typical. David Pons sliding off to the side to do something to get clear track space. Even though that's not typical for the GP series, we do run a couple of events in the year to outdoor. Now, my first thought on that was like, well, it's not really consistent, but we're also not consistent from the standpoint that we're the only ones who have an outdoor track. So,
right.
Our GP does not stay the same throughout the entire year.
Which I think is cool. It evens the playing field for a lot of the drivers that don't get access to a lot of the different track orientations. Apex Racing...
Marshmallow
just
jumped to the top there.
Yes, he did. Apex, this is qualifying for the state championship.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to switch here so we can see their best lap times.
That'd be great.
Apologize for that.
So close.
Looks like a 0.1 to David and a 0.081 to Rachel. They'll have 2 qualifying rounds, and they will switch cars. And they won't use the same car. So even though they're random assignments, we'll make sure that if they draw the same car in subsequent rounds, that they will redraw. So,
how many carts are there to choose from?
4.
Oh, wow. So there is the odd
3
number.
plus,
Yep.
3 plus the spare.
Or the even number, but odd for the amount of people.
Correct. Let's make sure we had an extra.
And checker flag is in sight. Does anybody have an answer for Marshall Miller? David Pons does.
Last lap. Does Marshall Miller have anything to respond for him in this last lap? No, he doesn't. David Pons, after sitting back there, the 25 7s and 8s, has taken the top of the leaderboard on the very last lap. 25.540 on a last lap burner. We just talked about how he warms up throughout the sessions and is a contender for last lap burners, and he did exactly that, bumping Marshall Miller off the top of the leaderboard. 0.047 was the gap between first and second. And then not to be left out, Rachel Hart, her gap, 0.128. Now, I believe what they're going to do, Drew, are they going to warm up the tires on the last car? Yes, they are. Okay. So that car has been sitting so that if and when it gets drawn on the next round, it's got a couple laps of heat in the tires, and they're not at a huge disadvantage waiting for 2 or 3 laps for it to warm up. It's a big deal with state championship on the line, so we want to try to even it up as much as possible. And they are the same 4 cars that the teen league ran. We saw how close their times were. If you didn't catch it earlier, make sure you go back on the live stream and watch that. If you're catching it after live, we'll have some bookmarks on the bottom of the screen here for you so you can jump around. And the question was, do you think people will stick around to watch the final tonight? What do you think, Drew? Who's on our fence line? We have some drivers to stick it out? Yeah, awesome. Which is, oh, you're figuring out replay. Okay.
Yeah, it's, I can't find him, though.
Now, again, we are the only center in Ohio, so this is the only state championship. All 3 of these drivers are automatically advancing to nationals. However, this is to set their finishing order. National championships will be held at K1 Circuit out in California. That will be one day, followed by the World Championships, where they bring in all the other K1 drivers from around the world, whoever can make it. I don't know. In years past, we've seen people from Canada. Mm-hmm. That's not too unreasonable for them to travel.
Mexico.
Nothing else on the other side of the pond.
No.
So maybe that'll happen this year.
That would be cool. Is it easier if we restart this? You're on back channel right now. Is there anything that would... They're not popping up. Maybe starting and stopping it or something? I don't know.
No, it's just a live file. All right, quick turnaround. We'll be in the second qualifier as they all hit the track again. Marshall Miller out in the front this time, followed by David Pons. And Rachel Hart in the number 1. We saw each one of these drivers take the lead at some point during the qualification. I can't wait to see what happens this time around. Every 10th of a second counts. It is only going... your fastest time of the 2 rounds is going to be what counts. You go on board with David Pons. So basically your time to beat, I already forgot it already. So David Pons is 25.540 for pole position. Well, let's try multicam and just go on board with everybody.
Awesome.
Rachel's helmet keeps getting me confused with Gavin's, because Gavin's was very similar.
Yeah.
Gavin's not racing this race. Marshall, fastest so far, 2 laps. I'm kind of surprised at how close David is following Marshall. Must not be too concerned about. There he goes. He jumps to the top now.
It's sometimes when you're in the similar skill set of someone, it's nice to have a line. Even though you have your own line, it's sometimes nice to be right behind someone if you're not encroaching on them. You know what I mean? It's just nice to have a visual sometimes.
Or just somebody to hunt down.
Yeah.
Good target. Look at the middle line that David takes through the carousel. This is the balance that he was trying to learn this week is, do I try to brake, try to do it smoothly, or do I just let off the throttle earlier and coast through that long corner? Most drivers opting for the lift and coast. The braking is difficult to get. If you nail it, there's a possibility you might save a tenth, but it's really hard to not lock up the tires. This is the corner we're talking about right here. Yeah, he is gently pressing the left-hand side foot pedal. I'm watching Rachel now on the right-hand side to see. I kind of missed her corner there.
Seems like she's struggling with that cart a little bit.
Understeering into turn 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Kart 1 was Marshall Miller. Last time around, he got a 25.587 in it.
One of the biggest keys to being good at these karts is being able to adjust the minute differences in the karts.
Yeah.
Just the way that they handle a little bit different.
And as much as it drives me crazy sometimes, it is part of the game of just being a great championship driver.
Yep.
It's Marshall 25.3. That is the new provisional pole, 7 laps in.
He reset it himself.
Yep. Just as David locked in, so does Marshall. Top 3 drivers on the year in the GP Series. Very familiar names at this center. They drive here a lot. We expected nothing else but to have a very close competition tonight. It's going to be really interesting when we get to the final and they try to race for position. This is just qualifying. A couple laps to go. Nobody improves on that last lap. David so far fastest 25.56, and it's 200ths off of where he qualified last lap. Everybody's got plenty of track space to run clean. If there's ever a time that there's heat in the racing line, it's now, because we've just finished about 3 hours of competition where most of the drivers are on the racing line. And even though it is winter and the center kind of floats around the 60-degree mark, white flag comes out. Having drivers on the racing line always helps with every little bit of heat possible.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a big difference between summertime driving and wintertime driving, even though it is indoors.
We'll check overhead here and see. Marshall Miller going to take the checkered flag. Does he make any improvement? No, 25.4. Does David change any times? No, 25.7. And then Rachel following behind. Will she have anything on this last lap? Nope, she's already backed off. Looks like she might have messed up in turn 2, so 27-second lap time for her. So that should put Marshall Miller on the pole for this race. 25.50 from Mr. David Pons is going to be good enough for second, followed by Rachel. Her best time, 25.66.
So then random cart assignments, and then the final.
Same thing, yep.
You could tell who loves the cart and who hates it. And I love it because they're all so just a little bit different.
Yep. She's talking about how the car's snapping on her. Look at Owen. But Marshall's like, hey, I got a 25.5 out of it.
Well, draw those carts. And this is for all the marbles.
You should narrate that body language,
I was
Jason.
thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if it was a banana peel. We looking like Mario Kart over there. She slipped on something. Steering wheel went out. I don't know.
Steering wheel. Yes, steering wheel went out. That's definitely it. Yeah, she's actually upset. Yeah, Marshall did 25.5 in it, so.
Yeah, if you're not used to just adapting to each cart, it is tough.
Has she picked her cart yet?
I think so.
Oh, did she get number 1?
I don't know.
Yep, she did.
Bummer. They get different carts just for qualifying, not for the whole thing, right? So you can wind up in a qualifying cart for the final?
Actually, that wasn't the intention. The intention was you were going to drive a different cart for each time. So let me see. David was originally in 31 and 1. Marshall was in 31. And then David picked 31 again. So
do they just swap carts then, or?
Yeah, originally I said if they pick the same cart number, they pick again so they don't have the same one.
Oh. It looks like David's getting in 31. Rachel's getting in 21.
21. All right. Just leave car 1 out. That's fine.
That's fine. If they solved it down there, we don't have to solve it up here.
Yep.
Apex Racing making his official bet. I think David might win.
Ooh, looking for a pass within the final, huh?
All right.
That's tough to do.
It is. And you've got to do it early. Everybody has seen what Marshall does when you give him time to get warmed up into his cart on a track.
We heard over the radio. She's not driving that cart again. Okay, well, problem solved. Don't have to.
I like that, though. I think it is a neat rule to have where you're not driving the same thing every time, so that way you get in a cart like that and you can't figure it out, and you're in a different one anyways the next time. I like that.
Yeah.
It keeps it very across the board.
Dude, seriously, I'm asking.
What have we been going on this whole time?
I'm just asking, dude.
Are we going on? He is not making the Marshall mistake, which was made one time.
Hi, Drew.
Yeah, don't mistake David for game time, David. Like, this is the state championship,
Yep.
so he is dialed in.
Going on the green light.
Okay, thank you.
Going on the lights.
Jesse's in the chat. Marshall's got this.
All right, the 2025 championship leaderboard is on. We are going to go overhead for the start of this race. Owen ducking out of the way, and off they go. Marshall Miller, the pole sitter for the championship race.
Good jump.
Good jump from Rachel back there on David in the back of 31. Reverse direction tonight, only 12 laps. We just came from a 14-lap final. We're going to shorten it just a little bit for the state championship. Those were the rules, so off we go. Check on board with Rachel and her view tonight. not driving the number 1 car.
Right on the tail of David, though.
Yep. And a bump.
You got to either get around him or work together to get to Marshall, because the longer you let him be, the further he drives away.
Marshall wasting no time getting away from the field. David using a little bit of brake on the number 31 through the carousel. Feeling out the car and where you go through on turn 4 here as you kind of wash wide, try to stay off the wall. Rachel's going to capitalize on that small error there.
That is something you see with these drivers, is they're extremely good. So when they see a mistake like that, they really capitalize on it. And that's the thing that's made these the top 3 drivers, is they know how to do that.
And that your current running order is the finishing order of them for the season. It was Marshall, David, and Rachel according to the points this year. We talked about it at the top of the program, but Marshall having 8 wins and 8 poles on the season. David and Rachel both having 1 win on the season, and then 2 and 0 poles respectively. Marshall's just checked out from the heat, but Rachel responding with purple on the 25.5. Go ahead and follow them, Drew. You're on board. Not on board, but you're overhead.
I can't tell if Rachel's on offense or David's on defense. Or are they both just driving their hearts out right now?
Yeah, good question. It kind of looks like a little bit of both. David qualified with that one last lap burner in the first round of qualification. Now he just needs to find that same line in order to keep Rachel off his tail, but she is staying right there with him. A little bit of difference in the lines there as Rachel, whoa, I thought for a second she might be reaching for the boost button just in case it was working.
I would.
Yeah, you never know. Little extra bonus.
There was a race one time when they were left on and someone figured it out. I forget what that was, but
yep.
Oh, I always hit it.
Boost giving you 15% during the Endurance League, but yeah, they're not enabled tonight. That's guaranteed. Or are they?
Oh, God. Someday we'll be able to remote turn them on.
Yeah. I think you'd see a couple tenths difference in the numbers here.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Marshall with a commanding lead on the field. He's going to round the corner for lap number 8 as he goes purple 25.4. Now David is at his pace, I think. Rachel is trying to hang right there with him, though.
Yeah, she's running 25.49, so right there.
Sometimes the heat of the moment can cause you to make mistakes. These drivers look like they're on target tonight.
We
and
could probably
would be?
I was going to say we could probably run like 50 laps, and this is what it would be. They're all so close.
Yeah. This is what it'll be like for the 12 hours.
In the middle of it, yes. The beginning and the end are always crazy. The middle of it's just really fast drivers driving around in circles. Not to say you shouldn't watch the whole thing.
Right. You know, when you've been in position racing, you know that the nerves can get the best of you, but I don't see any of that displayed by the car motions so far in this race.
No. Marshall's just dialed in.
Yep. And that's how he wins his races. He's dialed in. He's locked. No mistakes. It's other times when we see him when he's got distractions or he's got other people on his tail that cause the issues. But as far as this race goes and this night is concerned, Marshall Miller trying to put a stamp on the entire night, not only winning the February round, but Marshall Miller will be your 2025 Ohio State champion for K1 Speed. Huge congratulations to him as David Pons and Rachel Hart finish out the top 3. These 3 drivers will now look forward to national championships out at K1 Circuit, and we wish them the best of luck as they represent the state of Ohio and obviously K1 Speed Canton as well.
Great job.
Great job. Yep,
Head to the podium.
Head to the podium. We can do the interviews out there. Absolutely. Thanks, cameraman Drew. We know you're going to be moving.
Scaffold.
Well, that's a pretty good night of competition, I think.
Apex Racing just asked, are you going live for 12 hours? It's like 12 and a half, 13 hours live straight. Yeah, so check in all day, March 14th. Congratulations. That was a good race.
With lots more commercial breaks.
Yeah.
We'll let you know as soon as they get to the front with the podium, and we'll have that celebration for you guys live.
Any surprises on the night as a whole, you think?
Surprises? No. I expected that level of competition. I thought these guys were going to be within tenths of a second from each other.
Yeah.
I thought the teen league was going to be the same thing. I thought that they all had a shot at it. So that was good. Juniors weren't as close, but
almost predictable.
McAllen dominated the whole season, so for her not to win the state championship would have been a huge shock.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her, and obviously congratulations to Gavin, who's been putting in a lot of work here and just getting the times down. So,
yeah, great racing all night.
There's a good and a bad to that, because it's like you wouldn't want, an upset would be interesting, but you also wouldn't want something with like equipment failure to cause something to happen in a national upstate championship where,
I think
something that shouldn't happen.
This shows the opposite of equipment failure. I mean, like, everybody is so close. Qualifying matters that much more. Yeah. Just because everything's so close, you're waiting on a mistake to do something, and these drivers aren't making mistakes.
Oops.
I think we're ready to send it down. Adam, nod twice if we're good. Yeah? He has not nodded. Okay, there you go.
I was concerned he couldn't count to 2.
Alrighty, for the adult GP. In third place, I have Rachel Hart. Yes. In second place, I have David Ponce. Good job. Congrats. And in place to finish it off for the adult GP, I have Marshall Miller. Flip it around, Marshall. Yours is backwards. All good. Leage, hats forward. Marshall, take your hat off. Make it higher. It's for a single picture. It's adjustable. We frame the money on it. Backwards. You didn't spread any money on it.
They need one more party popper.
Yeah.
One more. You got everybody with their trophies in hand, their hats on. One more party popper. All right, it's all falling apart. So.
Well.
And with that, we'll wrap it up for the night. Thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage tonight. Special thanks to our track staff who did a phenomenal job tonight. And for everybody here at K1 Speed who makes these events happen, we appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jacob, who's over here putting cameras away. Look for us in about 2 weeks here. We'll be back in the Endurance Series.
Good night.
Good night.